Hi everyone and welcome back. It's Thursday, isn't it? It is. It's Thursday the 6th of November. We did remember the 5th of November yesterday. We can talk about firework displays momentarily. This is Paul English Live this Thursday. We're back at our usual time stateside as well. It's just gone 3 o'clock. So we're all back and happy and on the same old time mess as we used to be. Welcome to the show. We had such a laugh on Monday over at Eric's Fockenhall pub, whatever it was called, that, well, we've brought a few of the drinkers along this evening as well. They'll be joining us in half an hour or so, but we should be joined by Paul and Nathan Lucius, and we may even have another guest rocking up later on, so it's going to get quite crowded tonight, which should be fun. I've got me tea ready tonight. Those of you that listened last week will have heard me bleating like a little sad sap that I'd meant to make some tea for the show and I forgot to do it. But you see, it just takes a little bit of training. 1 week later, here we are. I've got nearly a pint here of Earl Grey. And also some apple juice. So I don't know what you've got in front of you, dear listeners, but I hope you've got something to keep your whistle wet or something like that. Somebody whose whistle is always reasonably wet and ready to chat is Eric von Essex. And Eric, good evening. Welcome to the show. How are you this fine November evening here in jolly old England? Good evening.
I'm absolutely spiffing and jolly beezer. My whistle is rather moist. I'm using rooibos tea. It's South African rooibos tea. It's very nice, you know. Sorry, does that sound a bit South African? I don't know. But yes, with some cow juice in it. You either love it or you hate it. But
Wow.
I've
had that.
But have you tried rooibos? You get it in.
No.
You can get it in. It's a bit perfumey. I've found if you get it in Aldi's, Lidl sell it.
How do you spell it?
Believe it or not.
How do you spell it then?
A small palette. Oh bloody Nora! I don't know. Hang on, I'll look it up. Just one moment. Rooibos tea. Rooibos tea.
I don't think my cat likes it.
Yes, it's called ROOIBOS. It's rooibos.
ROO.
But you got to say it with a South African accent.
Rooibos. Rooibos.
No, ROOIBOS. It's sometimes called Red Bush.
Right.
IBOS. And,
well, we'll have to get some Afrikaans.
Yes, it's very tasty.
We need an Afrikaans interpreter, don't we? Isn't that what we need? We need an Afrikaans interpreter. Rooibos.
We do, yes.
Rooibos. I quite like that. They're very
Rooibos. That's what it is.
I don't think my cat
We used to work
that.
with a Rhodesian chap, you see. What? Rooibos tea?
Your cat likes it,
I don't
Paul.
think my cat likes that. She was on my lap sitting in front of the heater for like a half hour before the show started, and as soon as you mentioned rooibos, she got up and got down. So either she doesn't like the sound of your voice or she just detests that tea. I think I'm going with the tea.
I think, yes.
Well,
who could possibly
the person who
detest
introduced
Eric's
me to
voice?
it
This is wrong. Apart from the cat, this would be wrong, wouldn't it? Yeah. That would be wrong.
Well, I used to work with a bloke from Zimbabwe, and we'd say, you're from Zimbabwe. No, I'm from the Rhodesia. And he got very upset about that. But he had an accent, which I don't know quite why, but it hit our funny bone. And when he said rhino, hippo, and bicycle, we was off our seats with laughter. And I don't know the reason why, because it's not really funny. You know, I was going on my bicycle and I saw a rhino and hippo, and we was absolutely crying. We laughed. He said, "Why are you taking the piss out of me? This is the way I speak." You know. Sorry, it sounds like a rabbi, doesn't it? But no, that's
It doesn't sound like any rabbi I've met, but then I have to say I've not really met many rabbis, so I wouldn't really know. I'm not an expert on how they speak. I've often thought that the only vowel sound, or the main vowel sound in South African is an I sound. It's South African.
That's right.
Everything's I,
yes.
isn't it? And it was, of course, it was a rather mocked and detested accent in the 90s, I remember. And even in the 80s, I think Spitting Image didn't they make a whole song about I've never met a nice South African and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's a fantastic accent. I really do.
Yes.
I like it a lot.
Yes, I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Yes. Because there's a big difference between the English type and the real Afrikaans, who are Dutch heritage, real Dutch farmers.
Yep.
And you can actually tell a difference in their accent. There's a big difference because they were more of a strong accent. But Rhodesia, and I still call it Rhodesia because it's a nice name, that is another totally different accent as well. But there's just something funny about this bloke's accent that just hit our funny bone. And I really do not know the reason why. It's just something the way he said things. I don't know, it's just why it was funny.
Some people are just naturally funny and they don't know it and they don't even like being funny, but you just can't help but laugh at them all the time. It's a bit sad, really, isn't it?
Yes. It is, actually, yes. He said, "I'm fed up with you taking the piss out of me," you know.
Has there been anything going on in the world this week, Eric? I mean, I haven't paid attention to it. Something must have happened. Anything gone on? I'll tell you what happened in my day. I went out for a walk this morning.
Yes.
And I just couldn't get the walk started. It was impossible. Well, impossible is obviously not true because I made it all the way back here to the desk armed with Earl Grey tea and some apple juice. But within the first 200 yards of walking, I had 4 conversations. 4. It took me half an hour to get to the end of the road. Yeah. I think I must have a sign on my head now that just says, I'm a nice bloke, come and talk to me. Like, you know, one of those things. I'll get it.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great. First guy I met had got brain damage, so that was a bit of a long conversation. But I'm serious. It was quite interesting. He'd I think I've seen him walking around before. He had a therapy dog. I learnt a lot today. So he had this dog. He said, "This is a therapy dog." A therapy dog, yeah. He'd basically been out. I got that. I mean, he could rather a challenging condition for him, really. He goes out walking. We can still do that, and he takes his therapy dog with him, which is not a big dog or anything. It's to make him feel good, so that he don't get anxious. But what happened was, he was a bit of a sort of intense runner. He used to run a lot. He's out running with his mate.
Yes.
Has a big heart attack. Half an hour before the medical people could come and pick him up, and it affected parts of his brain because it was starved of oxygen. He was quite coherent when he spoke, but he was just telling me that they'd given him a therapy dog, and I quite liked that. It's quite nice. I thought it was quite sweet.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it was. And I said, "So what's the purpose of that?" He said, "It's to calm me down." He said, I don't panic as much. He said, because I sometimes don't know quite what I'm doing. And then he seemed to be very concerned about the climate. Because it's very warm today. I don't know what it was like with you. We always talk about the weather.
It was fantastic.
It was brilliant today, wasn't it?
Yeah, lovely and warm, yeah. I went for a long walk as well, and it was really nice. I mean, I was going to go by bike, but I thought, I don't know, I'd cycle back in the dark, and I don't really like cycling in the dark. It's just one of those things. I just prefer to say I like cycle when it's sunny and nice. I don't like it when it's dark.
Yeah.
So I just like to walk instead. I don't know what. Oh, it's just a psychological thing. It's
psychological. I think I've smashed more bikes up riding in the dark than I ever did in the day, because you hit a pothole, and I ended up buckling. Actually, it's a long time since, but about 15 years back, we were tramming along at some speed, and somebody, watch out! Of course, I couldn't see it fast enough. I was in the middle of the thing, and it just completely bent my wheel all to buggery. Oh, that was a fun night. So it's difficult, but modern lights on bikes are pretty amazing. They sort of light up half the countryside. Yeah. They're stunning, absolutely amazing things. I knew some guys who were into mountain biking, and they had almost like a massive light rig all over the thing. He said, "We'll be all right with this. You don't need any lights." And it's like the whole landscape lights up. It's like a helicopter going through the woods. That was pretty cool, actually. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I could have done it. I have done it in the past, but it's just, I think you're safer at night in many ways, because when you're illuminated, drivers can see you. But during the day, you can sort of blend in with the background, because I don't wear any sort of a luminous vest or anything like that unless it's at night. Then I wear a luminous one. But,
I think what the listeners are very keen to hear. And by the way, shout out to all the listeners. Hi there, everybody on Rumble and YouTube. Hi, everybody on radio on WBN 324 and on Eurofoot Radio and Holy Land Radio and Eurofoot Radio and Global Voice Network. Whew, look, I'm remembering them all now. I think what the listeners really want to know, Eric, because I'm sure it's cropped up on it, is, do you wear Lycra?
No. No, the thing is, I don't actually buy any fruit. You see, when you wear Lycra, you got to put something like a banana and a couple of apples down your front of your trousers.
Not if you're from Yorkshire, you don't. I never have to do things like that.
But, by the way, we might have someone else joining us after 9 o'clock. Someone who's, I think he's Yogi Bear. Oh, hang on a minute. No, sorry, he's a corporate yogi called Greg. So he
this
might
evening?
join us after 9. Yeah,
all right.
he might
okay.
do, yeah.
Well, that's very interesting. That's even more packed, because Eli James sent me a message today saying, "Can I come on and talk about Venezuela?" Didn't want to talk about Vietnam, but at least it begins with V, right?
Yes.
So I said, sure. Well, it's going to be packed out. I don't think I'm going to have to do much tonight. I think I'll just get you all rolling, and then I'm just going to sit and drink tea and burp every now and again to add colour and atmosphere to the broadcast. I think that would be quite good, wouldn't it?
As long as it's like... Yes, as long as it's just a burp and nothing else.
It's interesting, because today's picture, which you've probably not seen, because I forgot to fling it out all over Telegram. I've just been so distracted today, having a nice time, polishing my nails, things like this, is actually of a party. So it's sort of a party. Everybody's sort of spontaneously generating light in their hand, which, of course, is what we do in the conversation, isn't it? So it's just a pretty picture. It doesn't really mean too much, actually. But there we go. So it's going to turn out to be quite a hullabaloo tonight around the microphone, I think. But
it certainly is, yeah.
Yeah. 84 people in the studio, so it's quite a few, everybody. So we'll have to send a chart out so you can keep track of all the voices as they pile in. But just going back to this chap that I was talking to, I was talking about him. He'd been out running, had this coronary, affected his brain, came back. He was quite a very polite, nice guy, but he was telling me some of the challenges he's had. I mean, I couldn't cope with this. Like, for example, he can't read books. He said, I can read a page. He said, the problem is once I get onto the next page, I can't remember what I just read on the first page. I said, that must be a blow. He said, it's really difficult. I can't sort of track things. He said, and if there's anything sort of linguistically complex on TV, like us, fast-talking, sharp-witted, rapier-wit type guys, he gets flustered and lost and can't watch it. I said, that's a pity. But anyway, at least he had his therapy dog. Yeah, it was a bit much, really. I mean, he wasn't a spring chicken, but he wasn't ancient either. He was... maturing middle years, let's put it that way, 60s, early 60s, so not ancient by any means, but nice guy. So and then over the road, next guy, another guy in shorts, so we had to talk about shorts. That lasted 15 minutes. He's flitting off to Australia in his shorts. Sorry.
Oh, blimey, you got something there, hadn't you? Yes, well, whilst you choke to death, I'll regarding shorts. No, I better not tell that joke about the Irishman going out on top of a bus. No, better not say that one.
That's a lot better. No, I'm back.
Oh, is that a lot better? Yes.
Yeah, wow,
oh,
that's
a
bit of a surprise.
Good.
Didn't like that.
Yes, because it's before the watershed. I can't tell you about the Irishman wanting shorts, can I? Mm-hmm. No, I can't tell that gag. I'll probably tell it after 10 o'clock. Yeah, it's a bit of a smutty one. So there we go. But by the way, did you know that next week it's an alternative, it's Remembrance, and every year I do an alternative Remembrance. And people on the alternative Remembrance have a connection with either World War One, World War Two, or whatever, whether it's a parent or whatever it is. And we sort of speak on their behalf, so to speak. So
what
it's an
day are you doing
alternative
that? Because
one.
the 11th is Tuesday, isn't it? The 11th would be
Tuesday.
is the
So
11th. Is that right? Are you doing a show on
right.
Tuesday? He said, still choking.
Well, I'm doing
I sound like that old bloke. I was talking about, are you doing a show on Tuesday?
well, no, actually, we're going to do it on Monday beforehand.
Okay.
So it'll be the Monday, what was it now? The 10th, I think it is. So we're going to do it on Monday the 10th. And then I'm going to do another one when Monica comes on as well. So it's going to be part 1 and part 2. And we're going to, should we call it, I'm going to call it official historic amnesia. So deliberate, so something around that idea, because quite honestly, what we have historical amnesia. And what they do is they only tell you what they want you to know, and that's it with remembrance. So it's going to be quite interesting. And I'm also going to talk about how those who survived the charge of the Light Brigade, how many of them ended up in the workhouse in complete poverty. So there we go. And not many people know that. Yeah.
Well, hopefully. Hopefully you don't get amnesia about the show and forget to do it. I mean, that would be, although it would illustrate the point brilliantly well, wouldn't it? It would illustrate the point well.
It would do, yes. I might actually, on the 11th, what I sometimes do is have a recorded show that goes out at the 11th hour at 11 o'clock. So that people can tune in exactly on that time. And I set it up to go out automatic. So I might do that on the Tuesday. So stay tuned.
Well, I'll tell you what, although this is no promises, if you wanted to go live on Tuesday morning, we could do that at 11 o'clock till midday. How about an hour? That wouldn't be bad, would it?
That would be brilliant. That really would be brilliant.
We can go out on SOAPBOX. We won't get out here on WBN. I think their schedule's all full up. But we could go out on SOAPBOX. Oh,
that's very kind. Thanks, Paul.
Well, we could stick it over a couple of YouTube channels. I'll stick it on my channel and stuff like that, and Rumble and stuff, and we can just do an hour on a Tuesday morning. It's like a trial run for a breakfast show. So
brilliant.
I'll do that. That would be fun.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Because I always start it off with a minute of hearing birdsong as a sort of I don't know, it's just to start the emotion off. So I just do 1 minute of bird song so people can hear birds whistling and things like that as a kind of, I don't know, a bit of respect. That's it, you know. And but it's not solemn. I keep it a bit light-hearted. So I really look forward to that. Thanks, Paul. That's much appreciated. That's fantastic.
Yeah, what year
of course,
are we
your
at?
dad was in the war.
2025.
25.
So
it's exactly 80 years since World War II, isn't it?
Ended.
Ended,
Good grief,
yes.
So it is. You know, I've forgotten about that.
And World War III started.
I suppose.
That's right.
It's back to back.
Yes.
Straight into the whole thing. Absolutely. Oh, no, well, that's good. Okay, so we'll keep everybody notified. That's just, we shouldn't sort of big up other shows when we're doing this one. But, we'll do something Tuesday morning, 11 o'clock English time, of course. Probably useless for Americans, 6 o'clock in the morning. But never mind. We'll put it out on replay or something a bit later in the day. No, that'll be fun. Yeah. We can talk about that. Well, fun's probably the wrong word. That would be a good thing to do. So that will be a good thing to do. Yeah, I look forward to that.
And it's always an alternative one, so it's very different to what the official stuff.
Yeah,
often controversial. So what he says this, so it's going to be a little bit controversial, but still respecting everybody that was in any war, regardless of their nationality. Anybody in war, that's it, you know.
Yeah.
So there we go. Hello, Eli's just mentioned it. So I think he says World War III is starting next weekend. Can you put it off, mate? Because we want to do our show.
I'm going to bring Eli in now. Let me just add him to the stage. You're an early bird, Eli. We're having mayhem here in the studio tonight. We're completely oversubscribed with everybody's rocking, but it's great to have you. How are you, anyway?
I'm fretting about the start of World War III, but go ahead.
Are you?
Go ahead, Eric. You were going to say something. Yeah. Yeah, I can explain. I was actually going to come on because Eric wanted me to talk more about Vietnam, and so we can do that another time. Yeah, and
Eli,
the whole right. Yeah, Eric. Yeah.
Can I ask a favour? I mean, would you like to come on because I'm going to do 2 remembrances, Alternative Remembrance, and if you'd like to speak about Vietnam, that would be fantastic.
Is that the next Tuesday you guys are talking about? Alternative Remembrance?
I can't hear you. Your voice is breaking up.
Oh,
Is that better?
Oh, really? Okay. I'm hearing you nice and clear.
You're fine, Neil. I think that must have just been a bit of internet kerfufflage there for Eric. Is it cleared up a bit for you, Eric, now? Is it okay?
Can you hear it, Paul? Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Because I can't. It's breaking up.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Yeah. So World War III has come to your neighborhood, Eric. Right. Yeah. I've had problems with my internet. Really strange. My entire Google Chrome just shut off, and I had to reload it. That's never happened before. I don't know how that happened.
Oh, interesting.
But,
my entire Windows system shut down today.
Oh, that's right.
First time ever.
Well,
first. I mean, I've had this.
Didn't you have that problem?
I've had this system about 2 years. It works really well. There was it just locked. I had to literally turn the power off. I hate doing that because you think I'm going to, but it's, fingers crossed everything's working. But I think I mentioned I've been looking at Linux actually to move over to it. But from an audio point of view, it really is a pain in the bottom. And I'm just, but I've got to go to it because Windows is, interestingly, Linux on the desktop is growing very quickly and Windows has absolutely stalled. And I think it's because what they're doing is they're doing the bait and switch now big time. I think Windows 11 or whatever the next one is that you've got to have. They've got all these subscription services. They want to tap you up for $5 a month here and $6 a month there. And I'm just sick of all that nonsense.
So you can be spied on.
Well, you're being spied on anyway. I don't want to pay to be. Yeah, we're being paid. We're paying to be spied on. This is just outrageously wrong.
There you go.
If they're they should be paying us to spy on us. Surely we should get a spy fee, shouldn't we? They're the spies, and we're the spies. Something like that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, Eric, can you hear me any better now, or what? No?
I think it's an Eric issue, actually.
Not.
Eric, are you okay? He's disappeared.
I'm fine, but I can't hear Eli. He seems to be breaking up.
Wow. It's Chris. Let me just check in chat and everything, because I should be broadcasting fine. Just a quick shout out to chat, Rumble and YouTube. Everybody picking Eli up okay. I'm getting it loud and clear here, so I'm assuming it's just getting transmitted perfect because I'm like
but Eric lives right next door to you, doesn't he?
He's just down the road in Fockham Hall. He's in Fockham Hall Fields running around there chasing the cows right now. That's what's going on. Yeah, loud and clear. So
it seems to be breaking up. I don't know what it is.
Eric.
Yeah.
Maybe Eric, maybe you could just reboot.
Eric, why don't you leave the studio and come back in again? You might just got a bit of a clock.
Is that okay, Paul? I'll come out and I'll come back in. How's that?
Yeah, cool. I'll add you back to the stage as soon as you've gone.
Am I breaking up?
No, you're fine.
No, I hear him fine.
Yep, we hear you fine.
It's with his audio. So sometimes you just have to reboot to make things work right again.
Yeah. Well, the wonders of live.
Yeah. Paul, shall I reboot?
I don't think you need to reboot.
Yes.
I think you need to
just
come out of the studio.
Is the problem me? Because I just can't hear Eli at all. It's just breaking
you're on
up.
A big lag.
You come through, Paul, very loud and clear.
Yeah, we're on a bit of a time lag, even with you, Eric. There's something going on at your end, I think. Why don't you just come out of the studio and then come back in again? Let's see if that clears. You shouldn't have to do a reboot for this. It's
Okay, get the hell out of here.
He's very delayed, even talking to me. So there's something going on, I think, with Eric. I think everybody else has got proper.
It's weird.
I've got proper British internet, but he's been using that flaky Fockham Hall internet service, and that's what's going on.
Yeah,
and he's letting us. It's terrible. What am I supposed to do?
It's going through Israel.
Do you mind if I drink my tea before it goes cold? I've got a huge vat of Earl Grey tea here, and I just realised I ignored it, and it's getting cold. This is no good. I didn't slurp though, did I? I could add slurps for to add atmosphere and stuff like that, but
yeah. Eric is muttering to himself. I can hear that, but he's not hearing me. I don't know. Is Eric hearing you? Okay.
No, he's not. Yeah. He's not in the studio anymore at the moment, Eli.
He's not in there. I see.
No, he's cleared off. He's gone off. I think he's gone for a pint of Fockham's best bitter. He just needs a couple of beers inside him. He'll be fine, and then we should get some proper connectivity.
Well, the other Paul is asking you a question, I think.
Sorry, I'm talking so much.
Yeah,
Paul,
American Paul.
Yeah, who are you? Anyway, what do you do
Hammy
here?
Paul.
Hi, Eli. For a change, I can hear everybody. I can hear everybody
right.
perfect, even Eric. So I don't know what's going on.
Right.
Maybe he's still using Windows.
I don't know. Eric, who knows? Eric, are you picking us all up properly? He's back on stage now. Eric, welcome back to the studio. How are you doing? Have you put your trousers on now?
You got to get lederhosen. You got to get lederhosen. They repel the vibrations of the air. Okay.
Yeah, I think he might have to reboot.
But...
He's definitely having serious internet issues at the moment.
Yeah.
He's back on stage, but we can't even hear him. So there's something going on.
Yeah, it's a reboot. My back, whenever I have a problem like this, I just automatically reboot.
I think it's a conspiracy. I really do.
Yeah. Oh, what isn't a conspiracy?
Exactly.
Okay. What isn't a conspiracy? So, okay, well, there's so much going on. And the reason I checked in early is because World War III, it looks like is getting ready to start next weekend. You've probably heard about Donald Trump, who I'm going to call Trumpstein from now on.
Oh, that's a bit rude.
Because because he's a shill for the bad guys, no doubt about it.
Really?
And, right?
Yep.
Well, he doesn't wear a yarmulke every day. He just wears it when he goes to Israel and bangs his head on the wailing wall.
He's a decidedly ambivalent figure, isn't he? And
for most people, yes.
He is, because, I mean, it's a bit like clocks, stopped clocks being right twice a day. He's a bit like that. Some of the things he says, you go, yeah. And then the other stuff, you go, no, definitely not ever, ever, ever. And
did he say that?
Yeah, it's like a schizophrenic thing. I mean, I think, we have to, I just keep winding back to my base position with all of this because it's exhausting. I find it exhausting trying to keep up with the next, day of lies or whatever, is that these guys, including Trump, are not in charge. He's not in charge at all. And that's...
Of course not. Yeah.
That's it. It's not even about him. He's doing a very good acting job. I'm sure they're quite pleased with it, but...
Oh, man.
What's the idea that he's in charge is it's nonsense, like a bloody comic book, and a bad comic book of that. Comic books have actually got more intelligence than this sort of stuff. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, a human marionette bouncing up and down on the strings of his handlers has got to make him dizzy. Mm-hmm. Right? He's got to be getting dizzy, and that's why he slips up every once in a while. Okay, he's got to slip up because you can only keep so many lies running around your head for so long without slipping up. And the internet is full of slip-ups these days.
It is. Yes, it is. I thought the bit of news that's obviously struck my earlobes, I've not bothered checking it out, is that I understand that New York have got a new mayor. Paul would know a thing about this.
Oh.
Paul, you're within earshot of New York, aren't you? You're within the environs of the... Yeah, so it sounds as though you're in for a thrilling time, just like Londoners have been for the last X number of years, by having somebody in the role that really shouldn't even be in the nation, let alone in that role. Or am I?
No.
Am I?
Absolutely.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Ami Paul. Ami means my people in Hebrew. Is your new Muslim mayor going to admit that the Muslims did 9/11, or is he going to point the finger elsewhere?
I don't know. I don't even think he should be sworn in as mayor.
I agree with you.
It's no secret that the United States has been under a state of emergency since Lincoln. And under the War Powers Act, the president has the ultimate control over the country, even without approval by Congress or Senate. So if Trump actually had his head somewhere separate from his backside, which I'm not so sure is the case, all he would have to do is he would have to declare the requisites for any political office, any public service office, to be the same as that of the highest position in the land, natural born citizen of the United States.
Ooh.
Naturalized.
No, he's not going to do that.
And
he's not going to
that would eliminate that Omar would be gone. Cortez would be gone.
Yeah.
Everybody would be gone, and we'd go back to American people in politics working for the American people and not for the globalists. So
right. Well, Nancy Pelosi's gone. She just retired. That's good. Check
that's
another
good.
one off.
She's
where
probably
was she
sitting
located?
in her
Is
comfy
she a
leather.
California? Was she a California?
Yeah,
Yep.
she's in California.
Right.
Yeah.
She's probably camped out in her comfy easy chair surrounded by gourmet ice cream, trying to pick which flavor she's going to sample.
Oh, that sounds quite appealing,
right.
actually. Have you got a number? I won't mind going over and hanging out with her for the gourmet ice cream. That sounds quite appealing, Paul. That's quite nice.
Well, that was the ridiculous stuff that was going on during COVID. I mean, she's in lockdown. I mean, people are hungry because they can't work, and she is giving a tour of her $10,000 refrigerator that is stocked with gourmet ice cream. I mean, only gourmet ice cream. It was absolutely ridiculous. And then she went and got her hair done at a salon when everybody else
eating ice cream.
Well, she went and got her hair done at a salon. I don't even think she was wearing a mask. Everybody was locked down. Nobody. It was essential personnel only. But getting Nancy's haircut was essential, apparently.
Right. Yeah.
You can't make this
well,
stuff up.
when you're that humanly disfigured, you need frequent changes of hairstyle.
Yeah, I guess.
No, I didn't use the word
distract people from the wrinkles.
Right, there you go. So we should get a facelift anyway. That's why women have all these face creams they use all the time, which probably dry out your skin more than they do anything else. So,
Paul, what's been the
wait a minute,
the kind of response?
I was watching.
Oh, sorry.
I was. Yeah. Oh, I got to share this.
This is really exciting.
It's a commercial. It's for a face cream. I don't remember what it's for. A moisturizer.
Okay.
And they say one of the ingredients is hydrourea.
Really?
And that's why it moisturizes so well.
Is this another word for piss?
Urine. Yes.
Right, of course it is.
It's got piss in it. They call it hydrourea. So, my God, I got to get some of that.
Right.
People are so ridiculous.
Yeah, right. You can ingest it too, right? Just look at it, put it in your.
Lord.
That shows you how
hydrourea.
Well,
give me more of that.
Oh, well, that reminded me that I just read a post this morning about how the big pharma is changing the word vaccinate to some gibberish word that is just it's an alternative word. Maybe I can bring that up. Maybe there's an article about that they're going to stop using the word vaccinate and they're going to replace it with something totally vague.
Hallucinate.
Right? Maybe I can. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, if you're not a member of the in crowd, you're hallucinating.
Get your latest hallucination. Yeah, I don't know what are they. They're going to replace that. Here. I still get my. We still get reminders here on my. Well, I do anyway. I suppose everybody else does from my local GP. It's time for your flu shot. No, it isn't. I don't want one.
Yeah.
Non-stop. I mean, we just interacting with that. The whole edifice of the madness is not good for your health. It's just better to slope off. I've mentioned before. I had a discussion with a doctor a few years ago about this, and I said I'm just going to die. Thank you very much. Okay, I don't care. I'm certainly not going to die with your vaccine inside me. Yeah. So I'll just take the risk. Is that all right? Yeah. I'll just make my own decisions. Don't mind. I'll take the consequences. Okay. But they don't want that. Yeah. They want to save you all the time. They insist on saving you, even though you don't ask for being saved. So it's part of the problem. Paul, I was just wondering, what's been the response anyway to the arrival of your new mayor? Is he yours, by the way? I suppose you probably think he's pretty good.
No, he's not my mayor. He's the New York City mayor. Mm-hmm. I live in a small town 5.5 hours away from there, so I'm pretty much safe. And besides, everybody in upstate and central New York has always been petitioning for New York to be its own country or to be its own state. I mean, we disavowed them a long time ago.
Right.
We expatriated them.
You know how in recent years some of your sports teams have had to change their names because of them being portrayed as being offensive to American Indians. Like, I think the baseball team, the Cleveland Indians, are now known as the Cleveland something or others, Nationals. I don't know what they're known as, but they're not the Indians anymore. And I'm assuming that's maybe possibly occurred in American football. Has there been any talk now of changing the names again to reflect the new master in New York? I mean, I don't know what names if I say them, they'll be very rude and wrong, and I'll get locked up, so I don't want to. But is there any chance that they're going to change the names? I mean, maybe the New York Yankees need to change their name to, I don't know, New York Hindus or something? Yeah. What do you think?
Wonkies. Honkies.
I don't know.
It's not got that far. Don't worry, I'll be coming down the line. You'll have all the joys of that to face in the years to come. It's absolutely bizarre. I mean, we've got it going on over here. Nobody ever points out why these people are even allowed to be on the ballot. That's the main thing. They just shouldn't even be on the ballot. I mean, it's a nonsense. But we know who's pulling the strings. By the way, I've mentioned here before, and it's too long to play in total. It's about 15 minutes long, although we played it earlier today on SOAPBOX. I've mentioned here repeatedly the great little brief clip that Liz Truss recorded about a year ago with Steve Bannon. I think it was back in January 2024, so nearly 2 years ago now. And she's just done an interview with a newspaper over here called the Daily Express, and it's even better. I was trying to get some clips for today's show, but I haven't been able to do that. But we might play some of them next week. These are they don't really have a timestamp on them. They're going to be relevant for a long time to come. The interview was amusing in parts, as the interviewer, not the sharpest knife in the drawer, I have to say, came out with some blitheringly stupid sort of recommendations. And at one point, they were talking about the bank. She's the only person in power that I'm aware of that ever addresses the issue of the central bank over here. And as you know, it's it's the thing that I keep on alighting on. I'm going, we sort this one out first, then we'll find out what problems we actually do have. You don't sort that out, you're not sorting anything out. Anyway, they're talking about the governor of the Bank of England. It's a chap called Andrew Bailey. And Truss is wonderfully dismissive of him, which I just thought was tremendous. Basically, but she was giving an insight into the political makeup of the governors of the Bank of England and of most of the heads of the civil service over here. And we also have these things over here called permanent secretaries, and they are permanent. And there's about 30 odd of them, 30 plus. I can't remember the exact number. There's over 30, less than 40, I think. These guys and gals are basically ensconced for life in their positions and, of course, have never been elected. And most of the public don't even know who they are. But she was repeatedly making the completely permanently useful point that the Prime Minister's not in charge. And it's true. And it's really got to be got across. Although Keir Starmer is, of course, the greatest freak ever to occupy Downing Street and is a complete waste of space and is an appalling sort of person to actually have in there, but a perfect actor for them, she points out repeatedly that he's not in charge. And it's just a point that needs to be hammered home. Now, when they were talking about the governor of the Bank of England, the interviewer said, the question is, do we have people who are democratically elected? Of course, I'm not into democracy either, but, this is the least worst thing, apparently. Or do you have experts? And the guy said, experts. The interviewer said, well, you need experts that know about banking. And she said, well, what you've just done there is you've revealed yourself as a globalist. And he starts laughing because he realizes that he has. I mean, it's mad. Yeah. It's completely mad. And Bailey and all these other people, they're the ones that are causing the immigration into the nation. They're the ones that are causing it.
Right.
They're the ones that are giving the dictated orders to the political actors to say these things. When the actors want to do anything, they're just told you can't do it. These people, we need them exposed. We need their names and addresses. We want to know everything about them. There needs to be an investigation. I hate that word because it's useless. But there needs to be awareness created about who these people actually are and why we haven't elected them, why they're taking decisions that are literally destroying our nation, just like you've had a mayor elected in New York who should not be there, somebody higher up the food chain is obviously opening the gates, clearing the ways, and keeping any interference from that process well away by threats. The politicians will be threatened in some way that they can't actually...
Yeah.
So the politicians can't represent you. So what's the point of voting for them? I mean, this is really the key thing. And they even bring up, I think in the interview, they bring up Nigel Farage. And I've mentioned here, won't mind going for a beer with him, don't want him anywhere near the levers of power. And she said it won't make any difference. It won't make any difference at all if he's in. In fact, it'll probably be worse because he's just going to follow city orders more fluidly because he understands their language. So it's this cast of characters, whoever they ultimately may be, that need to be, the public need to be made aware of them. And we need to find a mechanism to have them not be in those roles. I mean, I think these people should sit exams and the public should actually get their exam papers. I'm quite serious. I mean, if you've got morons, literally, or political ideologues, I mean, they're not stupid, I've got that, right? But they're championing an ideology that literally no one in this country wants. We don't subscribe to it, we don't consent to it, yet this doesn't seem to matter. So, this is how the sort of national bullying process is being carried out here. And you've got something very similar going on that side of the water as well. It's on a different scale. It's got different theatrics to it, but the substance is pretty much the same, it seems to me. That's really what's going on.
Not anymore. What we used to have is civil service exams. Anybody that wanted an office or wanted a job in government had to take a civil service exam. They had to demonstrate a certain level of intelligence and proficiency. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think they do that anymore. I just don't.
No. Yep.
Yeah. Well, why not?
Well, here, I've got the answer. What these big cities, mainly Democratic cities, are doing because they're all going bankrupt. And the only way they can ward off bankruptcy, because they can't, like the federal government, they can't, and the big banks who create their own money and pay their own way with the inflationary money, the cities can't do that. So, but what the next best thing they have is by importing all of these illegal aliens, they get a welfare check cut to the city, and then the city has all the money they need to disperse funds for all these newly, should we say, naturalized, or is that not the correct word? Newly settled, maybe? Newly resettled,
injected into
non-white aliens? Right? Yeah, like a virus.
Prosthetically
into our society
to a people that they shouldn't be part of. Yeah, it's
like a fungus.
It is
right,
like a fungus, a humongous fungus among us. Yeah. That's what it is.
Right,
fungus.
Oh, that's a good song. Have you ever heard that song? There's a fungus among us. We got static in the attic. You should play that song. Anyway, this is the strategy used by the Democrats, and whether it's a sanctuary mayor like or governor, like Pritzker in Illinois, or a mayor, because we've had a whole bunch of sanctuary mayors in Chicago for it's going on 30 years now. And this is how they get their money from it. It's not a direct, let's fund illegal immigrants, but that's the way it works. Okay. And it probably works that way in England too, and all the other countries of Europe that have a illegal immigration problem.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, one of the points that goes on to make, and I'm only saying this, although it applies to England, it'll be equally applicable to you, in fact, possibly more so. She was talking about the Conservative Party, who used to be the party that was in power prior to the current incumbent. You can call it insert phrase, whatever you want there.
Right.
Is that a very large percentage of the elected MPs support this, what's taking place in the nation.
Right.
Why? Because it's lining their pockets with money. That's how low a level of moral and ethical behavior you've got in that pit of rats. It's just, they're not fit for leadership. What they're involved in is an abusership. They're just abusing their position. And they're standing in the way.
Paul, which biblical character does this remind you of?
Which bit? Someone standing in the way.
His name begins. No, who is a traitor to his own people for whatever. His name
Judas?
begins with E.
Oh.
That's well. He came later. Later. How about Jacob's brother, the race traitor?
This is true. Yep.
Esau.
Mm-hmm.
Right? These people are all imitating Esau by being traitors to their own race, by lining their pockets and acting like Mr. Big Shot wherever they go.
Yep. Yep.
At our expense.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's.
Isn't it simple?
Liz Truss. Someone's written in the comments that Liz Truss is underrated, and she is very much so. Well, she is.
Yeah.
The thing is, she was mocked and pilloried more than this oaf that's in has ever been. She was only in power for 47 days, and everybody likes to go, oh, that idiot with her stupid economic plans. Anybody that makes that comment hasn't studied them, and even if they did, they wouldn't understand what they mean. And this is why she needs more airtime, really. I mean, I'm glad she's not in politics.
Right.
It's not as if I'm a big Liz Truss supporter. That's not what I'm saying. It's just that when you hear truth from anybody, you need to encourage more of it. And she said more, as I've said, than anybody I know of in recent living memory over here with pointing to the real problem area. I mean, they talk about, I can't remember who we've got, Rachel Reeves, right? There's a woman called Rachel Reeves. Rachel in accounts, she's been mocked at. She's coming up with the most ludicrous economic policies. They're just nuts. They're taxing everybody. They're doing all this. And as Truss points out, she said, it's not her plan. The people that run the government, the Bank of England, same thing, the real government, they're all Keynesian economists. They believe in tax and spend. Because that's what Keynes was all about. Just keep taxing everybody, spend it, we'll have big infrastructure projects, it'll all work out. No, it won't. It doesn't. It never has. I mean, traditionally over here, and I guess it's similar to between your sort of Republicans and Democrats, although it's the line's faded so much between all the parties. We've just got the uni party now, and I've had it now for 15, 20 years, is that the Conservatives had a reputation for being fiscally responsible and restrictive, i.e. not spend, and sought to encourage private enterprise, which we'd all go along with. And the Labour Party, being a socialist thing, have always whacked up taxes, and we're going to do all these things because we're all in it together. And, of course, the Labour thing has always left the most terrible account book for the Conservative Party to pick up. Now, those roles used to be like that maybe 40 years ago. It's not been like that for a long time, unfortunately. They're just basically singing from the same hymn sheet. But if you've got the people who are managing the banking system for your nation, willfully pushing an ideology of tax and spend, of allowing immigrants in to assist their mates in business to get workers at low wage rates, that's what this is all about,
right.
All of these sorts of things. You've got really organised treason. And that's what it is. This is organised treason. And speaking of which, yesterday was Remember the 5th of November, which is a big deal over here, where we celebrate. The official story is that we're celebrating the unsuccessful attempt of Guy Fawkes, to blow up the Houses of Parliament. Of course, it's morphed in recent times. People actually go out to firework displays to talk about how it actually really could get the task completed. And yesterday down here, there was a big firework display off the pier. And I haven't been for a few years. And so my son said, come on, let's walk down and go out. It was a beautiful evening, full moon, really mild, no rain, clear skies. Great night for burning £10,000 worth of fireworks or whatever they spent. I don't mind. Huge crowd, massive crowd. Generally good-natured, in fact, very good-natured all the way. We walked back along the sea, waves crashing around my feet. It was all really rather beautiful, actually, on a November evening. It was good. As we got back nearer to the house, there's a neighbour of mine who I see every now and again walking across on the other side of the road. So I end up talking to her about it. I said, have you had a nice time with the fireworks? You know, we're sort of sending you up. She said, oh, it was lovely, wasn't it? Because everybody goes, ooh, and ah, you know what it's like with firework displays. Well, it is over here. And she said, you know, we just got round to talking about it. She said, well, it's a pity he wasn't successful. I didn't have to say anything. And I said, "Oh, I don't think I could go along with that, madam. That's outrageous." She starts laughing, of course. I'm sending her up a bit. I said, "That's a shocking thing to say about all those honest, hard-working people up there who've got the nation's interest at heart." She said, "Yes, they do, don't they?" It was wonderfully English, sarcastic conversation. Yeah. We were being extremely ironic with one another. It was great, but that is the sentiment. There's a lot of it around. It's quite natural. Yeah, because it's very simple. People were just being treated with extreme rudeness and being dismissed by organised treason. So treason, Blair changed the law book so that you couldn't be hung for treason. But that's Tony Blair. He's just a bloke who turned up and just had a job as an actor. He didn't mean no, as far as I'm concerned. These people are destroying our nation. There's no two ways about it. Absolutely no two ways about it.
Yeah, because they're making money doing it. Yep. Yeah. Who might be paying them? Who might be creating money out of nothing to bribe all of these politicians to be traitors to their own people?
Well, I don't know.
Which okay. Well, you're a banking specialist.
We could speculate. I mean, one of my. Well, I do, but I don't really. We don't need to really plunge into that one because people I think.
Guessing. Yeah.
Well, even if you were to get hold of all the people that you thought were doing it, the real challenge is how do you actually cut out the disease? And it. Right. I waste brain cycles thinking about this from time to time, thinking what would be the pragmatic challenges of doing it. Has it ever been done before? How was it done? Yes, it has been done before. How was it done? It required democratic votes and overwhelming majorities and a little bit of elbow grease, i.e. toughness, i.e. physical violence was required in nearly all instances to part these people from the seats that they currently occupy. And of course, we're dealing with such a mature, sophisticated surveillance system and all this, that and the other, that it's as if, we're like wrapped up by a boa constrictor. It's not good. It's not good, but I still think it's worth it.
Starting to hurt.
Yep, absolutely.
It's starting to hurt. Oh, here's a good headline for you. Woman fatally shot after arriving at wrong address for cleaning job. Can you, she's a Mexican, probably doesn't speak English.
Right.
That's the chances you take, and this is what happens when you import illegal aliens who can't even speak the language of the country they're invading.
Well, they're not really they use that phrase over here, invaders, but they're not, are they? They haven't planned the invasion. They haven't executed it. They haven't even paid for it. They haven't even... There's no... it's designed to create the ruck by this other force in the background. There's no... I'll tell you what is encouraging, Eli. I mean, I do spend a bit of time on X, and I've mentioned it last week. Many of the posts on X, the intensity of the criticism is going up and being left unchecked, which is good. And also, the responses on many of the threads the bulk of them are excellent. I mean, you only have to get one idiot remark in there, and it used to be the other way around, right? You'd just get all this wokist claptrap from sort of lovey-dovey types who are obviously, immature, basically insane as far as I'm concerned. They're not sane people. They haven't got sane things to say. It's very much the other way around. So when you see one of these stupid, let's love everybody type comments and migrants are a great asset to the country, they get hammered with all these responses, but in a very sort of English way, very sort of polite, which is the best way to do it. But pointing out to these people that they're just, please, explain yourself. What do you possibly mean? And I think there's a story missing, you see. I think there is a positive story to be told here, or at least one that's not so negative, which is that there is an arrangement for peoples that would work for all peoples, and it does include respect, and it does include all the things that they want, but it means everybody stays at home. That's the bottom line. It means the vast majority of people stay in their ancient cultural homelands. I'm always banging on about this, but it's worth banging on about because it's true, because most of the solutions that we hear are to solve the problem now on the ground and make it better. This is not a solution at all. It can't be made better. The problem is the location of huge numbers of people who understandably want to live life the way that they want to live it. And they're entitled to do that. They're just not entitled to do it in my home without my consent. And I never gave it. And it's been assumed somehow that we did. And that's where the violence is. It's a violent situation by our own government, supposedly, against us. They're the perpetrators of this. And I think that penny is dropping now with more and more people. You're seeing more people say, It's the government itself that is the very problem. Yes, at last, we're getting there. So don't start casting votes.
We're getting somewhere.
Yeah, we're getting somewhere. We are. I want to play a little clip here. It's only a couple of minutes long. It's from a 35-minute interview, which is, for me, was absolutely brilliant. A brilliant clip. A guy called Robin, let me just get his name right. Robin Pickett. Robin Pickett. Somebody kindly posted this on the Telegram group the other week. Shout out to that. That was fantastic. I went off and this is just a 2-minute clip. And I went and listened to the full 35-minute interview. But this is an Englishman, a proper one, right? Speaking out, just answering a lot of questions. It was filmed just in front of the Houses of Parliament. It's quite recent. Just get your lug-holes around this, because this is quite good for a couple of minutes. This just gives you a flavour of it.
Because that's what it seems like. It seems like racist equals white. Because no black man can be racist to me. If I criticise a Jew, I'm an anti-Semite. If I criticise an Islamic, I'm an Islamophobe. What are you if you criticise me? What are you if you try and replace me? What are you if you try and tell me I'm wrong for wanting to protect my children? Apparently, you're a perfectly reasonable person. But I'm a racist for wanting to protect my future. No, bullshit. I don't accept the 14 words as a thing. I think it's ridiculous that anyone could even say that they own this concept, as every human thinks this thing. Black people go on and on and on about black. Asians, like Indians, will tell you that India is the best at this. This is Indian, that's Indian, everything's brilliant that is Indian. Good for you. You love your people. I'm glad for you. I love mine. But don't call me on a racist just because you don't like the word white. If you don't like the word white, maybe you shouldn't live in a white country. Like, really, if you don't like white people, go away. White people live here. I'm really sick of it. I'll be honest, I'm really sick of it. I'm sick of us being exceptionalised. This is happening every Western country. What we used to call Christendom is under attack by its own people, by its own elite. And we're supposed to just sit here and be arrested for having an opinion. No, I'm not a racist because I'm white. I'm a racist because I'm a human. Every human is racist. It's normal to love your own people more than you love other people. It's normal. The creation of the word racist doesn't suddenly make me an evil person. It's a concept. It's not even a real thing. It's called in-group bias and out-group bias. It's genetics. It's frustrating, to be honest, that these questions even exist.
Robin, for you. I think that's just a short clip. The rest of it is just as good. He nails things as an English layman would. He's a carpenter, right? And we know some other guys that are carpenters. They turned out to be pretty cool too.
They're waking up.
It's fantastic. Yeah. Well, apparently he's been interviewed before, but the way that he puts it across is exactly the way that many, many English ears can hear it. So when you've got people like Tommy Robinson and this, that, and the other, that's no good. For me, it's no good. What it is there's a subtle sort of agitation via taking place. We've got to sort this out by this. No. It'll never get sorted out like that. The simple truth is that, we're exceptionalized. And all of these things are just being applied to us and only to us. And this penny, when it drops, and it's dropping faster, and this is why they're pushing things quicker and quicker, they won't be able to contain it because they shouldn't be able to contain it. And this is just nature through the people kicking back. It's going to happen. It's absolutely going to happen. I was so encouraged listening to him. Seriously, I just had this massive smile. The whole 37-minute thing, we're going to start playing it regularly on SOAPBOX because it's just a brilliant interview. It's only been listened to by a couple of thousand people, of course, at the moment, but I need to publicise it more. I just think it's spot on. The guys in the street, there's a lot of guys in the street sharp as razors and know exactly what's going on. It's just a matter of mustering these voices together into one sort of choir and getting it going. And one of the things that Liz Truss was talking about in the interview, I know this is old kind of stuff, but she was talking about media. And she said the main problem we've got, and we say it here, it's not that we don't know the truth. It's that we don't have a big enough media mouthpiece to project it out on such a scale that it begins to be absorbed more rapidly by a huge number of people to change the tone of people's thinking. And we've got to, the ones that get scared, you're going to do violence and all this. No, we're not. That's what we're trying to avoid. It's the other side that are saying peace, peace, peace that are causing all the friction. It's mad. It's absolutely mad. And I'm exhausted with it as well. It's completely mad. It really is.
Okay. All right. Okay. Eric said in the chat room have changed, but somebody named Chris says, thanks, Eli, I've changed browsers.
Well, Eric, you're back in the studio.
Yeah.
Are you with us? Are you back in the studio?
I'm back.
Yeah.
I've managed to get on. I've come off the Chrome and I'm on this Microsoft thing, and it seems to be working. I do apologise.
Oh, really?
I've changed computers, and I've also rebooted my and I feel like booting it. My router, and my computers have been running slow all this week. So I think the problem is the router.
Well, listen,
you got to upgrade to 11.
So I'm sorry, everybody. I can't actually get into chat because the computer is just not powerful enough. So I'm just about getting to this.
So somebody sent the withering comment, Eric, in one of the chats that boomer tech.
Windows, I've
boomer
gone
tech.
back
You're
to
a
Windows
boomer, you
10.
see, and
the
you
other
don't understand
computer,
technology.
Windows 11, it just wouldn't hack it. So
right.
I'm using the old one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, well, look, we're at the top of the hour.
That's
we
the
play a
thing,
song
yeah.
at this point, so we're going to do it. I'm going to play 2 songs, actually. How about that? They're all about walking. 2 songs. Yeah, they're all about walking. They're fiddle tunes. They're bluegrass tunes, because I'm kind of into this at the moment. So that's it. The first one's called Walking Out One Morning by one band. And the second song is called Walking After Midnight. So we cover the whole day. We're going to be back with you in about 4 or 5 minutes after these couple of songs. Here we go.
Damsel and I loved her dearly in life. I often thought I'd make her my lawful wedded wife. Through flattery and promises she was taken away and left me broken hearted alone there that day. While walking out one morning I spied a pretty fair maid. I asked her if she'd marry me, and what do you reckon she said? The answer that she made to me, kind sir, I'm much obliged. I will not marry you, my love, oh no, my love, not I. But about 6 months or after, this lady's mind did change. She wrote to me a letter, said, sir, I am ashamed. I wrote to her another, and I sent it back in speed, saying once I loved you dearly, and I loved you once indeed. Has changed and I've looked some other way, upon some other fair misses suited to me, upon some other fair miss where love and habits fill. This world is wide and lonely, if one won't then another one will. The lonesome scenes of winter time inclines to frost and snow, dark clouds around me hover and the stormy winds do blow. The little birds are singing in every bush and pine. My joyful heart would open if she was only mine.
Out in the moonlight, just like we used to do. I go out walking after midnight, searching for you. I walk for miles out on the highway. Well, that's just my way of saying I love you. I go out walking after midnight, searching for you. Stop to see a weeping willow crying on his pillow. Maybe he's crying for me. And as the skies turn gloomy, night birds whisper to me, I'm lonesome as I can be. I go out walking after midnight, out in the moonlight, just hoping maybe you're out walking after midnight, searching for me. Stop to see a weeping willow crying on his pillow. Maybe he's crying for me. And as the skies turn gloomy, night birds whisper to me, I'm lonesome as I can be. I go out walking after midnight, out in the moonlight, just hoping maybe you're out walking after midnight, searching for me. Out in the moonlight, just hoping maybe you're out walking after midnight, searching for me. You're out walking after midnight, searching for me.
The walking songs. How about that? That last one was Walking After Midnight by the Locust Honey String Band. And the first song was Walking Out One Morning by the New Mules. Where do I get this stuff?
You're digging to the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, it's a nice barrel, though. They're nice tunes. They're good. I know they're different on the ears, but we try to bring you something different and refreshing and not just rock music all the time. We don't want to be doing that all the time, do we? So there you go. So when you go walking, if you want those walking songs, we'll have to make them available. They're quite sweet, I thought. I quite liked them.
The only thing you're going to find if you go out walking after midnight is trouble.
Well, it depends where, I suppose. You might be right. It depends where you go.
There's a Patsy Cline version of that.
Is there?
It was a big hit for her. Yeah. And I'll send it to you. I don't know if I play it on this end, will you hear it on your end?
No, we don't want to do that. I'm a stickler for good audio quality. No, we won't do that. But
I'm trying to stop it.
Yeah, if anybody's got any more, I'm sure there's some more walking songs. Aren't there? There's got to be other songs with the word walking.
Yeah.
So if you've got any walking songs, you want to do that in the second break. Yeah. What's that, Eric? Sorry.
Sorry, it used to be a national sport, especially in America, where people would walk long distance, and that was in the Edwardian period. Well, I don't know about at night, but during the day. By the way, I've just found out there's been an internet outage in my area, so that's the reason it was, and they're working on it. So that's the reason why. So sorry, folks, that's it's still a bit slow, but it's getting there.
Well, we can hear you okay now. Are you hearing all of us okay, Eric?
Well, it's a major. Yeah, it's a major shutdown. Apparently, there's a major breakdown in this area, so that's the reason why.
Yeah, we can expect
cities up. So
we can expect
folks,
more of that. We can expect.
Yeah.
Now he just disappeared again. Are you there?
No, he's here. He's there.
At least it's working now. Just.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, here the reason
it's working but I can't get into any.
Your microphone.
Your volume just
your
sort of
microphone's
dropped.
gone a bit quiet. Your microphone's gone a bit quiet, Eric. You know it sometimes does that.
Okay, I'll deal with that. Just it does that.
Yeah.
I think it might be something to do with that. I'm seeing to it right now as we speak. Okay.
Okay, but the main reason I called in today was to talk about World War III. Okay,
well, I think we can talk about World War III now. I think we've probably have been talking about World War III for the entire show, really.
Right.
But just
exactly.
But there's obviously some aspects you want to talk about. So I'll start polishing my boots now, shall I?
Yeah, we have been dealing with the covert aspect of World War III, which I pretty much assigned to when COVID started. COVID and covert are nice, C letters. A nice alliteration, and because that's how they. Here's the bottom line. Let me just preface it this way: the internationalists, the globalists, and the doctors and the mad scientists have been promoting this global depopulation scam. Okay, and they've been doing it in myriad ways. COVID is just one of them. And giving us drugs. The pharmacia people are killing us by various means, all the means under the sun they can use to kill us, or turn us into zombies, by which we don't know where we're going, and we walk off a cliff or get run over by a car, which almost happened to me when I was in London, about in 2014. Because I looked in the wrong direction, stepping off the curb, right? And then all of a sudden, a guy slams on his brakes, and I hear this, oh, wait a minute. I looked in the wrong direction, and I almost got run over. Okay, yes. So, but this is going on worldwide, and guess which is the most popular means by which the globalists are murdering us. They're not exactly murdering us, they're preventing births, and that is feminism. Feminism is the major tactic by which they're preventing white people from giving birth to children. You understand why?
It's interesting you bring that up, because Monica was on a couple of weeks ago, or was it last week? No, it was last week. I think Monica was on last week. It was. Yeah, she's on the last Thursday of every month, and we were talking about that very topic. And she's actually sent me a message in the week. Let me read it to you, because it was quite fun. Yeah. She said, she says, Paul, she says, my goodness, us talking about feminism. This is in the show last week. Wow, she says, has this topic ever struck a chord with a lot of people? I have heard from so many people. Then she writes, actually, I should say just men, not people, because I'm only hearing from men. Ha ha. Anyway, a chap had sent me an article that he wrote and said, could I pass it on to you for your interest? And she has done. It's on, I'll put the link up in the chat for those that are interested in this. It's I haven't read the whole thing. Let me just copy the link and I'll whack it in. But it appeared on uns.com, and it's got a great title, Attack of the Cat Ladies. Attack of the Cat Ladies. And it really taps into this problem with the sexes are not being complementary to one another to the degree that we would like. There's definitely much complementary that's taking place. I'm aware of it in certain areas and quarters. Yes. We just want to see a lot more of it, because we are going to have to stand together and act as nature intended, as a complementary agents to one another, to create a much stronger ability to repel this infection that's sweeping the West, unfortunately, the destruction of our nations. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's a broad sweep. So people need to keep that in mind. Lesbianism, feminism.
Hang on, we got...
That's my phone. I have to... There we go. Stop ringing. Let me put it aside. Yeah. So that's just one aspect. Everything that the internationalists are doing is to prevent us from having babies. And feminism, that's the real purpose of feminism. Mm-hmm. You probably had the movie by Aaron Russo, where he was interviewed by one of the Rockefellers. And he says, why are you creating feminism? Aaron Russo asks, well, because we want to have more income. That way the women will go to work and we can tax them and tax the men too. And so then he began to realize this is a conspiracy, right? So all of these things, man-hatred by feminists is causing women, those women in particular, to not want to mate. Okay, so you see, this is the actual plan. Okay,
yeah,
makes sense. Makes sense to you guys?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I because I was doing a bit of research on the topic last week. You know how the algorithm in YouTube or wherever you go starts to bomb you with whatever you've been recently searching for, which is at times useful, sometimes a pain in the backside, right? But I've been getting loads and loads of videos through from both men and women. Commenting about this. Now, some of them are from the point of view of dating, advice like, don't date these type of women, don't date these type of men. This is the problem.
Right.
And that's useful up to a point. But many are also addressing the fallout from this. There seems to be, I mean, maybe this is just the algorithm that I've got. It's just picking these things for me, to butter me up. I'm so suspicious of all these things. But many of them are from women that are now solo in their early 30s,
right,
and are expressing, according to these videos, right? I mean, maybe they've discovered they get a lot of hits, so they make more money. I can't help it. I'm just cynical about these things. But yeah,
regret.
They are. And many of them are very articulate. They're saying some really, I've learned some very interesting things.
Former feminists.
Yes. Yeah, very much.
Right?
Very much.
So people are waking up in myriad ways. That's a good thing. So, and here, the question I have for all of you present. Whenever the globalists begin to realize that their program is beginning to fail, what do they do?
I don't know, Eli. What do they do?
They have another war.
Have a war. Yep.
That's right.
Yes, friends, it's wartime.
Yes.
Take your partners, please, for World War III.
Yeah. There you go.
I know I'm a buzzsaw, but I think we're picking up a bit of echo from your headphones. It's going back into the mic.
Okay.
We've got something like that. There's something coming back through. It wasn't there before, but it's just appeared recently. Yeah?
Oh, are you sure it's my mic? Because I haven't changed anything.
Well, I'm trying to...
No, I hear it.
Really hot.
I hear it now.
Who's hot?
It is hot.
Eric's mic is really hot.
Is it?
Yeah, Eric, bring your mic, mic down a little bit. That might be where the echo.
Okay, mate, I'll bring it back. I'll bring it down.
Oh, good Lord, you're huge.
Yeah. But here's what's going on. Just in a real quick nutshell for y'all.
Oh, this is getting. Hang on. This is really getting unlistenable. Just a minute. We've got to find this. I can't.
Okay. Is it coming from me or not? I don't hear it anymore.
It stopped.
Or just
we don't have it right now.
It's way in the background.
No, it's gone.
Okay,
it's gone. That's good.
Yeah, so,
we just had a wall
how's
of it.
That? I've turned it down. I've just turned it down.
Okay.
Is my microphone okay now, Paul?
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, that's
all right
better.
now, mate.
That's much better.
Yeah, you got to use a headset.
Yeah.
You got to use a headset, not a speaker. See, okay, that's the standard rule around here. Okay, but here's what's going on.
I've got an old HMV.
Yeah, is that a brand? HMV. Okay. But here's what's going on in a real quick nutshell.
I've got an old trumpet thing.
Oh, okay. Trumpet thing. Okay.
Eric, we've got you on a massive lag.
Now the lag is coming.
It's his internet. It's really laggy.
Yeah, it's his internet. Yeah. Okay. Well, here, let me just say what I have to say, and then I'm going to have to bow out. The person calling me is in distress. But here's what's going on. It has all to do with Venezuela. Okay. Trump has been blowing up speedboats in the Caribbean, claiming that they're drug boats coming from Venezuela. However, that's not possible because Venezuela only accounts for maybe 5 to 10% of all of the cocaine traffic in the Caribbean. The vast majority is coming from Colombia and Mexico. Mexico is the number one importer of cocaine into America. So it has nothing to do with drugs in Venezuela. What it does have to do with is oil. Oil, which is being sold by Venezuela to China and Russia. Okay?
Yeah, they've got
he's got to have some kind of Yep, it's the largest hold of oil in the world in Venezuela. Okay, and because their biggest customers are China and Russia, Trump has to do something about it, and he's grandstanding. And he's actually, and these boats are in international waters. They're not in U.S. waters; they're international waters. So he's violating international law. He's violating all kinds of human rights, blah blah blah. Okay. So, but he doesn't care about that. He wants to keep on doing business with the Juno Who's. So he's obviously being instructed to do this. But that risks going to war with China and Russia. And the war pigs in America are saying, that's fine. We can do that. Okay, so keep your eye on Venezuela, and he's sending aircraft carriers down there. This is major saber rattling. Okay. I'll just stay around for a few more minutes just to see your comments or hear your comments. Okay, turn it back to you guys.
Has this been covered much in the media, Eli? The Venezuelan thing.
No,
I've not seen much about it at all.
No, this is a new development. There are some YouTube videos about this, but it's very recent, very recent. And so the question is, why is Trump getting ready to attack Venezuela? Google that, and you'll probably get the answer I just gave you. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
It may turn into World War III because you guys answered the question correctly. Whenever they get in trouble and they're losing their grip, they have to provide a distraction with another word, whether it's serious or whether it's just another distraction. Because this is how Clinton operated the White House. Remember when he was in trouble with all the women accusing him of raping them? Mm-hmm. Oh, guess the war in Serbia started, right?
Yeah.
Remember this, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. That's their modus operandi. And that's what, now the problem here is Venezuela has a huge military, right? Has a huge military. And they could take this war seriously. And I'm sure they might. So this really could escalate beyond their comprehension. And so get ready, folks. Get ready. Okay.
Do you think, Eli, it's also a good cover for the fact that he's still not released the Epstein files, which he promised to
do,
there
you
go. He hasn't done it.
Yeah.
What a surprise.
He hasn't done it.
I'm so,
And you have all these photographs of Epstein and Trump and who else? At Mar-a-Lago, of all places, right?
Prince Andrew.
And which Trump owned. Yes, Prince Andrew, right? Mar-a-Lago. And then haven't even talked about the Epstein Island, right? So, yeah, Trump said, am I on those Epstein files? Really? Playing innocent patsy, right? Which he clearly was not. And the number one customer was Bill Clinton.
Well, I'm shocked, Eli. Frankly, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I thought they were all honourable, decent people who spoke the truth. It's shocking, isn't it? Didn't Trump interrupt someone, one of his press secretaries? I'm a bit vague on this.
No.
Who was talking about...
Pam Bondi.
One of them was talking about releasing these Epstein files, and didn't he interrupt her or something, said, we're not doing that? Is there some incident recently along those lines? I'm not completely up to speed, but I'd heard from someone that's what had happened. That he just cut her off mid-sentence. You're not going to do that. When it must have been prearranged to do it or something. I don't...
that was Pam Bondi. I saw that.
Okay.
She was going to talk about the Epstein files, and she said, no, we're not talking about that today.
All right.
And so she shut up. Right, because that's what he hired her for. You're going to... Oh, wait a minute. I forgot. I'm Epstein's best customer. Right? So, yeah. That's what that is. So they need a major distraction. And so I hope it doesn't escalate from distraction to actually World War III. But you never know about these things, right? You never know.
I've got a good distraction for him.
Go ahead. Okay.
Venezuela can send a team, wipe out the Trump Tower in New York, and take out the foreign mayor while they're at it.
There you go.
Just take out the island.
Yeah.
I would say, Eli, that we've been in World War III since 1945, really. It's just been organised in a different sort of way. I don't know whether they'll ever go overt like they did before with huge massed armies blowing each other. They've come up with much more cunning ways to wipe people out. So it's a much more of literally a covert approach to undermining things. I mean, I'm of the view that the people at least trying to find, addressing the key sort of bottlenecks in all of this, which, as I said, for me is the bank. Nearly always it's the bank, and all the people that swarm around it like flies, lapping up all the bounty. Those are the people that we've got to find a way of getting to. And in the interim, just unifying over here as Englishmen and as Scotsmen and as Welshmen and men and women of Northern Ireland and Ireland. That's what we have to do here, and it is happening.
Yeah.
We just need
you know what?
What's
Paul, there's another distraction that needs to be taken care of. That is all the Irish, English, Germans, Italians rioting, and Frenchmen rioting in their cities because they're not liking immigration policy. Mm-hmm. Well, how about if we just draft all those protesters and make them warriors for the deep state?
Which ones? The ones that are protesting? I don't follow you. But they're on our side.
You draft them instead of... They're on our side, but who's going to draft them? Not us. The deep state is going to draft them for war. You're not understanding what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, what they would target them from the marches and then sort of do something with them.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's like what they call when the British were kidnapping American soldiers off of American ships. What was that?
Fun.
What did they call that?
Fun.
Yeah, right. It was fun for the British.
No, they were
but not for the Americans.
Press ganged.
Impressment. Impressment.
That's right.
They called
it was the press gang. I mean, if it's any consolation, they did it to the English and the Scots and the Irish on their home shores as well.
Their own people.
Yeah.
Their own people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But now all the world is ruled by the bankers from The Hague and from the United Nations building, et cetera, et cetera. So they can do that.
Yep.
And the Edomites and the literal Edomites and the Esau-type race traders will be fully behind it. Okay?
They're too far in to come out, aren't they? They're too far
that's right.
enrolled in the plot to be able to come out of it at all. They really are.
That's right.
But I think
if the plot changes...
Yeah, I mean, we have to cut our verbal cloth to suit, as you well know. I think it's a sensible approach. And I'm not sort of so discouraged by that as I was when I realized that we would have to do that, because we're finding other ways to communicate it. And in fact, a softer approach, I think, could be much more effective. A drip approach for us. We need to increase the frequency of the drips. But, people have been raised on the idea that we march and everybody starts shouting and we go French Revolution. That we're not going to do that. That's not going to happen. And it wouldn't be effective either, because it would just give them all the causative reasons that they want to actually press down on it even more. And when things like that happen, everybody gets alarmed. People don't think straight, and you get a terrible mess. It's not sort of like in a movie. It's just a complete mess, like the French Revolution was. It's just awful. It's a terrible thing because there's no sense in most of it. It's just a senseless waging of violence all over the place. Loads of people die and nobody knows why afterwards. When they've all recovered, they go, "What was that all about?" I don't know. Blood rushed to your head. You weren't thinking straight. But that's part of the process, to get people to not think straight. But I think there's a lot of straight thinking taking place.
That's absolutely.
And we've got
one other thing about Mom Downey, the Muslim mayor of New York, he swore that he would uphold the BDS, boycott Israel. Is that Is that,
did he?
Divestment. Mm-hmm. He swore he would support divestment. But I have found out that there's a circle of rabbis who actually worked to get him elected. And so I'm sure he's lying about that. And then once he's installed as the mayor of New York, I'm not sure. He won the election. I don't know when he actually takes office. And I'm sure that's what's going to happen. He's going to betray the left. Okay.
Hello.
All right, you guys.
Venezuela.
Venezuela. All right. Take care. Keep on being conspiratologists. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thanks, Eli. Bye for now. Thanks for stopping by.
Eli.
Bye.
Eli James. You can catch Eli every Sunday on Soapbox and Eurofolk Radio at 3 p.m. UK time with Bloodlines. Very interesting show. It was very interesting last week because I was on it. It was super interesting and all that kind of stuff. So, Eli there. Eric, are you now sort of tooled up? Oh, he's off the...
I hope I'm okay, yes.
You are?
Am I still here? I'm speaking away. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Am I out of sync?
No, you're not. You're not.
Oh, well, that's
we
good.
hear you just fine.
That's brilliant. I've turned my microphone down a bit. I've been a good boy. And apparently, I've looked it up. It was a major breakdown in my area of the internet. So that's the reason it went funny earlier. So things are working. It wasn't the computer, and it wasn't my router. It was. I'm pleased to say, So there we go. But anyway, we're all up and running. Is Anorak around? Does he come back? Or?
No, I've sent him an email. So I don't know. I mean, if you can get a message through to him, but he's welcome to come back in and join us. I said you can step in now and join us. So
yeah. Yes.
Hey, Eric.
Or perhaps we should start talking about buses. Yeah.
Eric, not to belabor the technical issue, when you first came on, you were okay, and then when you came back, you were super loud, and now you're a shade quiet. Can you pick
It's
like
true.
somewhere in the middle?
It's true.
All right, just pick somewhere in the middle, and a little bit will go a long way. Don't
just,
go nuts on it.
I think I'm going to take up
How's
smoking
that?
cannabis.
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, but we've got an echo
Is that
coming in.
okay?
Eric, are you listening to the show through speakers?
No,
Somebody-
I've got my headphones on.
Somebody
I'm
is.
speaking through the microphone.
All right.
So how's that, Paul? Is that all right?
It is now.
I've put my microphone up a touch. Right.
Yeah.
Oh. So we don't. Got
No,
that
you're good.
track.
You're good right there. You're good right there.
Okay.
You don't need any more gain. And
There has been an
yes,
echo.
I actually do have speakers on because I had to unplug my headphones. Otherwise, my speakers weren't working.
We've found the culprit, Eric.
I'm
We've
just-
found the culprit.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, that's okay. I just turned my noise gate up
Perhaps
and
your
my
pussycat.
speakers down. We'll be fine.
Has your cat come back yet? Is your pussy cat come back, or is it the frightener might say something about rhubarb?
Rhubarb.
Oh no,
Oh,
my
you know,
kitty.
where's your cat gone?
My kitty is spoiled
Yeah.
rotten.
Really?
And no, she hasn't come back. Not since she jumped down and left.
Bloody
She
hell.
was sleeping on my lap. She got up and left. I don't get it.
Perhaps she does like English accents or something like that.
Well, she didn't have a problem with Paul.
Well, it's because I speak properly, you see. I'm not.
Well, no,
that
maybe it's
fucking
because you were
rabble.
just louder. You were just louder than Paul,
Yeah,
and
but
I
hang on
think
a minute.
she's got rather sensitive ears. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Eric, don't get all self-conscious
Yeah, but-
now. It's okay. It's okay. We love you.
Speak
Anyway.
Speak. That's all right. I speak proper like Paul does. Does I? Oh, thank
I do.
you.
I do speak.
Does I?
I do speak proper, doesn't I?
Does
Anyway, it's
I?
nice to have you back.
Does I?
Just to let everybody, we were expecting a couple of other guests. I thought we were going to be oversubscribed.
Like we does.
Yeah, so we've had a bit of a. It's been quite a kerfuffle. It's a good job. I've got lots of. I've got my pipe here and everything, and lots of tea. Eli rocked up a bit early and left early, so
It's
that was
nice
all.
to be back. I tell you something. It was.
it-
It was
is
really
it lovely?
frustrating.
It was kerfuffle. It's been a kerfuffle show.
He's gone again. It's a bit much tonight. Isn't it?
Eric left again. Oh, jeez.
It's not working right tonight.
Well,
Eric,
I
unfortunately.
just don't think we can blame all of that on Microsoft. I just don't think so.
No, I think it's this internet outage that's taking place. I'm sure the listeners are absolutely thrilled to hear us keep talking about technical problems. I'm sorry, it's just live radio. And we're just having a bit of a rough roll of it tonight, so that's the way it's gone. There's not much we can do about it.
I don't know what it is. It's usually when I mentioned the word rhubarb, it went tits up, didn't it? It's strange that. Really weird.
Well, it kind of
Sorry,
did.
before the 10 o'clock, it did, didn't it? Yes. Perhaps you shouldn't mention that word again. Perhaps it's a naughty word somewhere. I
Which
don't know.
word?
Yeah, perhaps
No, don't.
rhubarb. There's loads of cats throughout the world going and scratching their claws into their owners and things like that, you know.
Ah.
Anyway, Eric, now that you've been silenced,
Is it-
now
is
that
it an
you've
old-
been
Yep.
silenced for a little while,
Yes.
were there any sort of
Yes.
topic, and you've been cut out of the loop, is there anything that you would like to talk about?
Yes.
Yes?
Well, I think he's already talking about it, and that was Liz Truss, because I
Yes.
did an article today in Telegram, plug, and I said that anybody that steps out of line is dealt with, in inverted commas. So when anybody says something like revealing what's happening in government, they're doing it for a reason, because what we see from government is a theatrical show, it's a pantomime put on by social engineers to monitor people's reaction. Because what I said is I believe they want there to be an uprising so that they can then slide in one of their tyrants. And that's how, this is what happened in all these revolutions. Chairman Mao, he appealed to the populace and he spoke their language. And they were all for, 5% of the population were for him. And he was put there, I believe, by the powers that be. to genocide China. And I fear that something similar is going to happen in this country, because whenever you see headlines in the mainstream press about revolution, you know it's being organised, because the mainstream press is run by Reuters. They get all the information from Reuters, and you know who runs Reuters? Rothschilds. So I think I would take what Liz Truss says carefully.
Don't
I
forget
would
the
think this is all part of the
Associated
theatre.
Press. AP Newswire,
Yeah.
they're big.
Oh, yes.
A lot of stations get their news from
Yes.
AP.
I think
who
it
they
is.
are?
It is all
Reuters and
stitched
AP.
together.
Yeah.
I think you can basically. It's not as if any of us agree with any of us 100%, do we? But every now and again, you do hear sentences or phrases that I believe are accurate and true, and they need to be sort of bigged up as best as we can. Whether there's an ability to make a consistent effort, I tell you, there's just a lot of positives over here for Rupert Lowe, and I'm kind of currently in that camp. Because, as I said, I think he's done the right thing. He's not created a political party. He's created a pressure group, effectively. And he's able to say the things, and is saying the things, that everybody in the pubs are saying. Well, if the pubs were open and if people actually went to them, but would be saying if they were going to the pubs. But no, generally there is a lot of this talk going on, and he's reflecting it, and it's right. And interesting post he put up the other day, which is slightly off beam. His wife had parked her car, I think, in Ladbroke Grove, somewhere, which is a pretty decent area in London, only to come back the following morning. It's a Porsche Cayenne, rather a glitzy car. I'm not bothered what the car they've got, but that's what they have. Only to discover that the headlamps...
Oh, cheap old banger then, you know.
Yeah, cheap old banger. And the headlamps had been stolen, and took a photograph showing you all the headlamps taken out. Of course, the police weren't interested. Even if they were interested, there's probably nothing that they can do, because they're too busy chasing people for using hurty words and this, that and the other. You know, the whole thing shot to bits, really. But the comments in the thread were really interesting, because people knew exactly why the headlights had been stolen, and I didn't know this, so this is a bit of stuff going on. Apparently, the lights that are in Porsches, and possibly some other makes as well, but certainly in this particular make and model, emit a type of light with very little heat, and this makes them absolutely perfect for growing cannabis.
Really?
Yep. And apparently there is a flurry of the theft of these headlights from cars in and around urban areas or major cities like London by people that need to grow weed. And the reason they use the lights is because they're so low in terms of the amount of heat that they emit. They can't be picked up by the heat scanners that the cops use to see if people are growing cannabis in their loft.
Oh, but they don't do that anyway.
Isn't that fantastic?
Anyway, they've got LED grow lights.
Yeah. Yeah, but the police basically have equipment that tracks a heat signal thing. Maybe they do have LED lights, and maybe they're expensive. Maybe these are people who can't even afford the LED lights, so they're just taking them out of the front end of a Porsche. So, you know. And somebody even put a clip up of people selling them on eBay. Not those exact same ones, but there were quite a few adverts on eBay over here for Porsche headlights. There's like a secret dialogue. Everybody knows really what they're for. Oh, yeah, I need some Porsche headlights. Have you got any Porsche headlights? I'm really interested in them. And so there you go.
Well,
so the
I need to
cannabis
get
crop
some
of England
myself.
is flourishing somewhere, unbeknownst to the police, I assume.
Well, the
Something like
cannabis crop of New York isn't doing bad either.
that. No, good.
I mean, it's recreational here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can have 6 plants if I want.
Can you?
6 adult plants anyway, 12 total. Oh, yeah, I can grow my own. Legally.
Really? Yes, I think. Can you in Britain? I know that you can grow tobacco legally in this country, but I'm not sure about cannabis.
Oh, that's going
Do you know
away.
anything about that, Paul? Yeah.
No, I don't. I'm not a drug informed person. It's never really been part of my life.
No.
It's not something. Although,
Same here.
maybe we could do a show when we've all taken some LSD. What do you think? If it might be
Oh,
interesting.
that'd be fun, wouldn't it? Oh,
Cool, man.
I don't know if I'm allowed
Well,
to
I
say that
actually
on
think-
broadcast radio. This is a terrible
Yeah, but-
thing. That,
couldn't we have two
I mean,
types
I'd
of
be
Olympics?
sitting off at Dude, I'd be sitting off in the corner holding the side of my head going, my ears are melting.
Well,
why not?
Yeah.
Why don't we have two types of Olympics? And that is the drug Olympics and the non-drug Olympics. And the drug Olympics, even the commentator could be stoned out their brain, And here he goes running around the track, following a pink elephant. And yes, it's flying. And way, man, this is really groovy. It'd be good, wouldn't it? Just have people drugged out of their mind going around. It'd be far more exciting Olympics, wouldn't it? If they just accepted it.
Well, I don't know. I think it'd be difficult to follow the competition. They'd be going all over the place. Where the hell is that finish line anyway? And why are they not going for it?
Well, I think
the Monty Python's Incontinent race will be better.
There will be people listening who are aware of this thing, but I believe now is the time of magic mushrooms in the country. I think this is when the crop pops up. And I was watching something today. I sound like I don't take these things because I'm British, right? But there's some very interesting research on. Did you just say microdosing, Paul?
Yeah, microdosing.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know what this was all about. It's very interesting, actually. Seriously, it is interesting. So people obviously think about taking LSD and magic mushrooms to go on a journey or however you want to describe it. But microdosing, which is like taking 1/10 of a gram every 3 or 4 days, twice a week, apparently has extremely positive beneficial health effects. Improved powers of concentration. Right. They've tested it on mice, and apparently they live longer with a more alert life. It improves mental acuity. So there's a level at which it really works. And you've mentioned, Eric, before about these indigenous tribes, the ones that just hunt, the hunter-gatherers. There's still many, in South America that operate, and they use it in this way. I mean, they also get completely smacked out of their good, I think, from times to times as well. But it basically heightens their abilities, their mental stamina, and their sensitivities to their environment. They become acutely more conscious of everything, and this is very helpful if you're out hunting wild things that might kill you.
It awakens your intuition.
Yep.
It awakens your intuition. It activates normally dormant parts of the brain. It has like crazy effects. I mean, like the stoners from the 60s and the 70s and stuff, the ones that were like, they were poets and they were musicians, they were artists, and their backstory was they like tripped out on LSD like seriously one time, and basically their brain was never the same again, and not in a bad way. They just found all these new abilities that they had and ways of concentrating and things like that. And microdosing mushrooms, psilocybins is what I think they call them, does the same thing on a lesser level. I mean, why do you think the CIA was doing LSD experiments? Come on.
Well, it's interesting.
The government was
LSD, when the government started doing it, I found out all these things today. I mean, I don't know what I want to do with this information. It just sort of was tumbling across the screen, so I started watching it for 15 minutes. A very interesting guy talking about it in a very intelligent sort of way. He's a regular LSD consumer, or has been for years, but it hasn't affected him one little bit. I know some people it's affected terribly. I mean, I actually knew someone personally. It had taken them years to get over the results of it, but he was just addressing all these aspects of it, and it's definitely got some kind of a positive in it. So when LSD first appeared, the government would effectively give you approval to take it. And there are more research papers done during this period, I guess the early to mid 60s, until they outlawed it. There's over 3,000 academic papers written on the effects of it, not in terms of purely negative, but in terms of other positives that I mean, basically, it breaks down the compartments of your mind, and people have these almost spiritual, benign and wonderful experiences on the one hand. I think he also said other people have the experience of being eaten alive by snakes, which, of course, is not really particularly edifying or what you're looking for. But in the microdosing, it appears to be, it's got some real beneficial effects. One of the things he also mentioned was that they did a test with several thousand. This is recently, 2015. So I think that's recent. 2015, they got, I think it was over 2,000 and under 3,000, so several thousand people, to microdose, taking 1/10 of a gram on day 1, leaving days 2 and 3 empty, and then on day 4 and 7, 1 day on, 2 days off. Many of them, after this 30-day trial, reduced the frequency even more than that. They were taking it like once a week, and many stopped altogether because apparently once this sort of beneficial improvement to focus has been achieved, it lasts. You don't need to keep taking it, and many felt that they didn't. So there were people with sort of anxiety disorders, ADHD, things that have become part of, I guess, the lexicon of describing all these physical ailments and mental conditions that people have, which were considerably improved by microdosing from whatever it is that comes out of magic mushrooms. I can't remember the name of it, but that's kind of it. So, so the idea of living longer with a more sprightly mind is not to be sneezed at. I think we need as many brain cells working as we can, particularly as all the mobile phones are doing their damnedest to kill them off. I assume still, if that's really what's going on.
That and 5G.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at replacing my phone here. I don't want a 5G phone, but then I was thinking, but if everybody around me's got 5G, is it going to make any difference? I'm being 5G'd fried anyway. Maybe I am. It's difficult to say. I mean, those islands in the Outer Hebrides are beginning to look more and more attractive with each passing day. So, yeah.
Yeah, but being feet away from a 5G device is better than having one in your pocket.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I agree.
Any distance you can put between you and it is all good.
Do we need 5G though? Because I reckon 4 and 3G are perfectly okay. There's no reason for it. And they reckon that we didn't even need digital when it comes to televisions, because our televisions were perfectly okay with the old ideas. And I think sometimes it's changed, for reasons that we're not told. Because 5G was something to do with a military weapon, wasn't it? So they're weaponizing it.
They had to do digital for TV, so they could move TV out of the frequency band that it was in, and open the bandwidth for digital TVs. So TVs that were so equipped and connected to cable could set up bidirectional communication between your home and the cable company. Not only is the cable company sending you stuff that you're watching, but you sitting in front of the TV, if it was outfitted with a forward-facing camera, then it's watching you and sending what you're doing back to the cable company. Yeah, it's a thing. And I believe that they put the cameras right next to the infrared remote sensor, so if you cover the camera, your remote doesn't work. Really crazy.
Yeah. Hang on, sorry, I'm just sending a message here to Nathan. It's just got through to me through here. It was a little crowded in the first hour. He's got that message, so maybe Nathan will be joining us shortly. Yeah.
I know what's happened to Anorak, because Anorak was due to come on. Hang on, I'll have a look and see.
It's okay, Eric. Don't worry about it. People will. It's absolutely fine. I think. I mean, I've been looking for one of these phones where you can take the battery out. So I need one of those. All the modern phones, you can't take the battery out. That means it's basically on all the time.
A Nokia.
I mean, it's like fighting a slightly pathetic war against it. I do accept that.
I've got a TCL.
Actually, I thought the EU had brought out.
Yeah,
I've
Eric.
got a TCL and it has
I thought they brought a law
battery.
out where. But my Nokia's got a removable battery. But I thought they brought a law out in this country and also the EU that all batteries have got to be removable. I thought that was some time ago. So I don't know what's happened there because, as I say, my Nokia, it's about 4 or 5 years old, and you can take the battery out of that. I deliberately got one that you can remove the battery from. So, yes, and I know that most the old phones, dumb phones, you can get the batteries out of them. So, it's... So they're still selling phones that have got a battery that's sealed in, you can't change. That's interesting.
I think they're all like that. It's not possible
know.
to get one. I've seen Freedom phones or whatever they're called, and this, that, and the other. They're quite expensive. I don't mind if I feel that the benefit would be better. Not that I'm loaded or anything, but I've got a Motorola here that's been working perfectly for nearly 6 years, I think, and it does me fine. I barely use it really, to be quite honest. It's just for handling Telegram messages more than anything else. That's the main thing that I tend to use it for. There was a thing actually that occurred to me as well after last week's show. I had the word Luddite in the title, but we didn't talk about technology at all last week, which was because we were talking about so many other things, which is fine. The one question is, how much technology do we need? Obviously, I would suggest not as much as what we're being given, but somebody kindly sent me a little post here from Twitter the other day, which I quite like. I think it's in line with this. It's from somebody called Alex Zek. Not that I know him, not that I subscribe to it, but I just got the message forward to me. It's not very long. And this is what he wrote. He says, I don't know if it's just a millennial and Gen X thing. I'm confused about what eras those are because I'm a boomer. I don't know if it's just a millennial and Gen X thing because we're the ones who lived through both the analog world and the ever-advancing digital age. Well, boomers too. We've lived through it as well. But I feel like a lot of us are carrying this quiet, unspoken grief. Grief for a slower, more reality-based life that we once knew. Everything's changing so very fast. The world around us is becoming almost unrecognizable, and with it, so is our sense of what it even means to be human. The digital age is slowly suffocating something deep and sacred within us. I think that's very true. I think that's a very true thing. When we talk about these old-fashioned things, which we do tend to talk about on here, I'm doing, I guess, in part to maintain a connection in my mind and in my heart to what I consider to be a much better world, and one that moved slowly. I was talking about the guy that I bumped into in the street, the guy that had got the brain damage and couldn't remember stuff. We got around to talking about this. He could hold a conversation for sort of like 20 seconds and then would say, what are we talking about? But we managed to he mentioned horses. He said, well, we can't go back to horses, can we? I said, well, we could. I said, wouldn't you like if a horse came down this street right now? It'd be quite exciting, wouldn't it? All that clip-clop. I said, I suppose if it was nothing but horses, it would be a problem. But there's something about the slower moving, the slower pace of life seems to have produced or should produce a more deeply thinking, thoughtful people, because you're not being mentally battered from pillar to post with the latest shock horror story of this, that, and the other. And I'm this show is likely to have less and less news in it from the point of view that I'm reading less and less of it and feeling much happier because of it. Now, you could say, well, your happiness is not important and we're in an alarming situation, but I don't know what benefit it is to keep sort of stewing over things, which are just basically, it's just more sort of fear porn all the time. It's not particularly constructive. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Well, I agree with you. By the way, the Nokia G22 has a removable battery, and you can repair it. Apparently, you can get replacement parts for it, and it's an up-to-date one, and it costs £72, or you can get a refurbished one for £59.95. So there we go, and you can sell them in Argos for about £80. That's it. So I hope I cracked it for you.
All right.
So it's the Nokia G22.
The G22.
But sorry, you were saying, Paul, what was it? The G20, yes. My Nokia, I think you can change the battery in it, So they still do them, but with the problem, I think, with technology is that it's technology for the sake of technology in many ways, because there's a lot of crap on smartphones that you don't really need. I don't really want to have Facebook and everything else like that on smartphones, but it's on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know whether your one does this. Does it eat up memory for no reason at all? Mine does.
It does. I mean, I mean, when I first got the phone, they've fallen off now, but I took gaffer tape and put them over the cameras, front and back.
Good idea.
I don't take pictures with my phone at all unless it's documents that I have to send off to people, then I can peel it off. I don't, people just take... Have you noticed at sporting events, right, that you see on TV, is anybody actually really present emotionally in the event anymore? Because everybody's got a camera taking pictures of everybody else with a camera, taking pictures of everybody else with a camera. It reminds me of that scene in the Beatles film. Was it Help? Where they're all running round one another on the beach. You remember that film, Help, with the Beatles? They've all got a camera and they're all taking photographs of each other, And it's like that. It's just, is anybody actually present in the event, or are you just recording it to talk about later on when it won't be as good? Why don't you actually just accept that this is an event, you're at it, and it's going to disappear down the memory hole like every other thing where it needs to go? You can't sort of remember all of these things. It's just a bit bizarre. It's weird. Everybody's into the sort of self-image thing. It is sort of ego on steroids, going bonkers with people just... And I never understood this thing with Facebook in the first place. People putting their entire life up there and go, why are you doing that? Really, why are you putting all these pictures up? I just don't get it.
Yes.
Never got it.
Well, the latest thing, I saw my neighbour the other day. Now, I walked across, there's like a sort of a wooded area, and I noticed my neighbour sitting on a seat, farting around on a phone, you see. I thought, strange, what's he doing there? And I found out that she plays a game. Do you remember I Spy, those books I Spy that you used to get when you were a kid?
Do.
You had to go out and you had to see a double-decker bus. Well, they got a game like that on the internet, and my neighbour farts around most of her life, going out, finding things like I Spy. What a boring life. I mean, I've got better things to do. And spends most of the day doing that. Yawn. I mean, what is it? How weird.
There are some strange little things that have popped up with it. Have you seen that game that people play where they have to identify a place in the world from a photograph? They have to guess where it is. It's called GeoGuess It. It's absolutely bizarre. There's a whole sort of cult movement. I'm going to call it a cult. So the game is a photograph of anywhere in the world is put up, and then you've got to guess where. You've got to work out where it is. Some of these guys are quite brilliant at it. Oh, it's Madagascar. They'll work out after about 20 minutes just from looking at a picture.
Some really boring farts out there, isn't there?
Well, we're quite dull at times. I can be quite tedious and dull at times.
And does it irritate you when someone says, oh, yeah, but I tell you what gets me is when someone says, oh, look at this, and they show you in the smartphone, and you see an AI tap dancing hamster or something, or someone tripping over a bridge or anything like that. And I'm thinking, I'm bored out of my mind with this. Why? And they spend hours and hours and hours trolling through garbage. I mean, what is it? I don't know. People just like wasting time. I think there's much more interesting things to do than that.
I know. It's jigsaw puzzles.
Probably it's me. I'm a bit of an old fuddy-duddy.
I don't know. There's jigsaw puzzle and things like that. Anyway, look, we're coming up towards the end of hour 2 here, our time slot on WBN 324. So this is when I traditionally play us across the bridge, as it were, of troubled waters with a song. It won't be that song, by the way. I don't like it very much. We'll be back again on WBN same time next week. The show carries on over on Rumble and YouTube and other various radio outlets and channels. If you want to carry on tuning in, head on over to paulenglishlive.com and click the Rumble or YouTube link or whatever suits your fancy, and we can carry on. And I played a song by this band last week, and I'm going to do it again. It's a different song. This is, everybody will guess what this is. This is another sort of reasonably recent sort of rock song, but bluegrassified. This is probably the end of my bluegrass period with music on the show for a wee while anyway, but we'll be back after the break on the other side here on Paul English Live and on WBN. We'll see you all same time next week. Bye for now, WBN listeners, and carry on for another hour elsewhere. Here we go.
child of mine. Oh, sweet 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 child of mine. Where do we go? Where do we go now? Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go now? Where do we go? Where do we go now? Where do we go? Where do we go now? Where do we go now? Where do we go? Where do we go now? Sweet child of mine.
And that was Iron Horse with Sweet Child of Mine. Isn't that how radio DJs say it? I think they do, don't they? So welcome back to Hour 3.
Yes,
Yes, absolutely marvellous.
Spiffing.
And, spiffing, absolutely spiffing, topo and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, yes,
well,
I've got that tonight. Yes. Well, mind you, last time I said that the camera, the computer went up the spout, so we've got to not say the word spiffing or roobosh. So let's try and keep away from those words, shall we?
Let's. Yeah, let's.
Why do you keep saying it?
Good point. Excellent point there. Yes, I never thought of that. Yes, you can't fool me. I'm too stupid, you know.
You can't fool me. I'm empty as they come.
I think there's a lot to be said though for being
Oh,
a
that's a
new
good-
a neo-Luddite, which is what I think I am. I've hit peak technology. I don't really want any more, to be quite honest. I mean, that's a ridiculous thing to say, but you see these. I mean, electric cars. Oh, good grief! Dear me.
Oh,
I know
God,
these incidents are probably few and far between, but what did I see the other day? Oh yeah, these things, if they break down, you can't open the doors, right? Can't open the doors. Somebody got burnt alive in one last week. The footage is just awful, so I turned it off. Everybody's trying to, because it's polyarmoured glass,
Oh,
so you
poor
can't
soul.
you can't get the glass broken because people aren't carrying sledgehammers with spikes on the end to get through those things. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just not being thought through. It's really, really bad. I mean, I know people obviously used to be in car accidents in the early days with petrol engines blowing up and it was very, very bad, but good grief. I mean, you'd think there'd be some sort of... I just don't want any of that kind of stuff. There definitely is a requirement for the do-it-yourself simple mechanical car. There really is. I mean, I think someone needs to start making one. Anything basic
Yes.
with an engine under 1 litre, it'll do it with modern engines, and then you won't have to pay that congestion charge in London. And you want I want mechanical window winders, and I want mechanical door handles, and I want an old radio. I just hate electronic junk in the car. There's just too much of it. It's just ridiculous. You're doing this is the amount of miles you've got left. Just give me a bloody fuelometer. I know what's going on. Thank you very much. It worked great. We know, it's it's irritating. The whole thing is,
basic. That's right. You just want to get from A to B, and all you really need is a rev counter and a speedo. That's really it. Maybe a clock if you're a bit posh, and that's it. And what gets me with these electric cars, one, you got the electromagnetic smog, which is not good for you. And
Yes.
even in petrol cars now, you've got a lot of electrics. And the second thing, it's this bloody great screen in front of the driver. Now, surely isn't that distracting? You want the minimum of distractions. All you want is to know what speed you're doing. What else do you need to know? Oh, and a rev counter maybe. But if it's electric, you won't need a rev counter even. So what do you need all this stuff gunk in the car for? It's all superfluous as far as I'm concerned. And there was saying that about 10, 15 years ago that the Chinese are going to massively import simple cars. What happened to that? That died a death, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Into this
did.
country. Now, wouldn't it be nice? A simple car, you just repair, like the 2CV. I used to work with a bloke who bought nothing but 2CVs or dust carts on wheels, and he said they're the most simplest car to repair. He said, and they're always on the road. He said, all these neighbours have got posh cars, and half the time they're off the road. But he said his 2CVs just goes and goes and goes.
Yeah.
And apparently,
What was that? Kenya? Kenya came up. A guy in Kenya came up with an electric car, has like a 300 or 400 mile range. It's mostly mechanical. It seats 4, and you can buy one for between $5,000 and $8,000. It's
Yes, please.
ridiculously cheap.
yes,
It's ridiculously cheap. It's mostly manual. The only thing the batteries are there for is to operate the engine, the motor, to propel it down the road. The brakes are just reversing the polarity of the motor and actually using the momentum of the car to charge the batteries when you're braking. It's simplistic in itself, and it's only $5,000. And they're
brilliant.
selling them now.
And no one's going to nick that car, right? They won't nick it because it's not worth
No.
it. You see, there's a lot to be said for being humble and poor because you're not worth robbing. And therefore, you don't have to get interfered with by the modern world. I'm not against electric engines if they work. And there are advances in battery technology. I think there's a sodium battery coming out, which sounds amazing. And there's all these other things which are way, way better than the basically souped up laptop batteries that they're using right now. But they'll have an industrial war over that because people have invested billions into building these things, like Tesla for one. But I think there's a Chinese company, I've forgotten the acronym for them. They've developed sodium batteries. They're about 40% of the cost, or about half the cost. They've got 40 to 50% more range and all sorts of stuff, and the materials they make out of them are abundant and are much more environmentally friendly, and it uses sodium and a few other things, apparently. I was on some tech channel the other day looking at it. I mean, an electric engine in a car, but I want mechanical doors so I can get out of the bloody thing if it blows up. Sorry, that's what I want.
Well,
and I want glass that can be broken. Have you seen those glass breakers that they sell? I mean, this is a known thing because if an electric car goes in the water and all the doors sit, you'll drown in it. So one of the things, I don't think they equip them when you buy the car. There's like an air press jackhammer. It's about a foot long. You hold it, you put it against the glass, and it like kicks the glass and just shatters it because you need it against this modern high-tech glass. It's tough as steel, this stuff. So it just punches a hole and you can get the window out and then you can get out and save yourself. So, if that's what they need it. But the idea of people being trapped in their very expensive electric cars being burnt to death alive, it's horrific. It's just completely mad. It's totally mad. Again, it's completely off the charts, I think. I want that cheap car. We need the cheap car. We need the peasant's car. Then we need the Volkswagen, don't we, Eric? Wouldn't that be a good name for it? We need the folks car.
Volkswagen.
Yeah, that's what we want.
There's also
a beautiful piece of engineering.
It is.
Who is it? Was it Toyota or Toshiba? Toyota working with Toshiba or something like that. They came up with a rechargeable battery that uses 1 kilogram of silver in the battery. It lasts 20 years, and when the battery is recycled, like 80% of the silver is recoverable. It has lighter weight, greater range than a lithium-ion battery, and it charges 10 times as fast, 10 times as quickly. It's and
Count
that's
me in.
supposed to hit the market. The silver-based batteries next year,
All
something
right.
like that. Now, if we can just keep silver from getting to $500 an ounce, screwing up that battery technology, well, that might work.
Well,
You know what? Silver is spiking in value just as they start talking about this silver-based battery in mainstream. Do you think maybe those two might be related?
I was going to bring up that very point. Yeah. Again, we bump into the management of economic systems thwarting products and devices that people actually want. I'm sure if everybody sat down and write a list of all the sort of technical doodads that they need, it wouldn't be that long. I've had a sad week this week though on that front. We've got a dual-lit toaster for making toast, a 4-slicer, absolutely magnificent thing. Or was up until last week. We've had it since 1998. So this is nearly 30 years old, this toaster, and it's done a lot of toast, I can tell you, because I've eaten most of it that's come out of it. And unfortunately, one of the things has gone. I think I've been told it can be repaired. I've gone rather attached to it. It's been a fixture in the kitchen all this time, so you sort of you get accustomed to these things being there. When they're not there, you realise you're such a creature of habit. But it's a fantastic design. I mean, they have them in cafes all over the place. That works, so we'll keep that. Some people like electric kettles. I'm not one of them. I like my kettle on the hob. This is really advanced stuff we're talking about tonight, everybody. We just got a new kettle with the most ferocious whistle on it. Literally, it sounds like a jet engine taking off when it gets going. It's wonderful. So it's very exciting, all these little things. There's not much that you need. I'm absolutely convinced of this. There's not much that you need, but there's always the advertising agency saying you need this. Oh, I saw this ludicrous thing today. What was it? Oh, yeah, a bed, right, that's connected to the internet. I'm serious. I'm going, what?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Internet bed. Yeah, so what it's made out of all this stuff, and you don't need heating elements in it or anything, and it's checking your blood pressure, your heart rate, and everything overnight, obviously sending all that data off. I'm just going, no, stop it. Just stop. You electronic arseholes. Will you stop with this stuff? It's mad.
But I know what it's for.
What's it for?
They're going to tax sex, and it's PAYF, pay as you fornicate. Sorry. You thought I was going to say something else there, wasn't there?
No, I know you're a man
have
of
these
taste.
tax inspectors looking through your window. Oh, hang on, look. Oh, yeah, the bed's going away. Look, yeah, right, okay. Extra tax.
We'll just log on to the bed file. We don't need to look in the windows anymore.
That's right.
Well, the thing is, Eric, that actually wouldn't be a new tax, would it?
No.
It wouldn't be a new tax because that's what caused the poll tax riots that led to the peasants' revolt.
That's right.
All that. It was actually pubic hair that they were measuring. I don't know if this bed actually measures that. I've said this before. It's always worth repeating these tales for new listeners if you've not heard this. But back in that day, what they were putting a poll tax on everybody, on all adults, and the determination of whether you were an adult or not was whether you had pubic hair. So this meant 14-year-olds and 13-year-olds. I guess I don't know when people matured back then, but I think the report said something to that effect. And out in Fobbing, which is not a million miles from you, Eric, I don't think.
Flobbing, yes, as we call it.
Fobbing in Essex, which is where the term fobbing off comes from because of this event. And so they sent tax inspectors out there, and the women in particular, the mothers, became incredibly vexed. That's an understatement. They were furious about this. The tax inspectors were going around looking up their daughters' dresses to see if they could see any signs of maturity. Let's put it that way. They were
That's
also
a good job, isn't it?
Yeah, they're also coming into houses to see if they could find watch springs and the like. And if they did, the tax had gone. They just had enough. So in the end, this is the part where it all kicked off, and they repelled the tax inspectors by killing a few. They were quite clear about it. They were killed.
Yes,
they were killed with bows and arrows. Many of the bows and arrows actually wielded by women, ladies, just to let you know. Archery is a good pursuit for ladies to take up. Very, very good at that. And the main woman was a woman called Diana Farrar. and she became very proficient at shooting tax inspectors off horseback at speed. So there we go, and that's what kicked it all off. So, it wouldn't surprise me if they are looking for that. But, I mean, it's just... what are you supposed to say about these things? You're going to put an electronic device in everything. That's why I'm a neo-Luddite. I'm not against all of it, but is there going to be a line put underneath it and said, enough, we really don't need that? So the simple electric car would be quite appealing, I think. It could be quite appealing, the simple electric car.
That's right.
Yeah.
But they've got one in the Netherlands, which is sorry, I didn't mean to cut in there, but if they were cheap enough, I mean, these things cost, I don't know, I think about 14,000 or something like that. They're a small two-seater that make, let's put it this way, they're so small they make a smart car look big. But what you can do, you actually, they're on a kind of, like shopping trolleys. Mm-hmm. Now, imagine batteries on a shopping trolley. You'd open the door, and they show you a demonstration you see on YouTube, and you plug the battery in. So when you leave the car, you can take the battery with you and wheel it into your house and charge the battery up. Or you can have two batteries, one either side, to go a further distance. And you can actually rent the batteries or buy them. And I think it's a brilliant idea. So you just pull into a garage, they just open your door, unplug a battery, and they're about the size of, about the size of two conventional car batteries, 2 or 3 there, and then plug another one in. And I think that is the way to go. I really do. Why faff around for ages charging your batteries up?
Well, I'm looking forward to the Falkenhall Ministry of Transport taking full charge of the transportation needs of the nation as soon as possible, Eric.
Well, he was going to come on, wasn't he? And he's gone.
It's a pity, really. I've sent him. It's a pity. So we'll have him on next time because I actually, from your show on Monday, I don't know if anybody caught Eric's show on Monday. It was a bit of a blast, actually. And we ended up talking about locomotives and things. And he mentioned a thing called the 9F class, which was the last massive steam engines built by British Rail. So I went off and looked these things up. They're enormous. Absolutely. And they were designed for pulling freight. Massively powerful. I think Paul had said that they were more powerful than a Deltic, which is with these big diesel things. I know this is a bit boys' talk around here, but this thing, even talking about steam engines, I think it is tapping into this slower pace of life thing. And it's part of that precious stuff that we've lost, a kind of feeling, a warmth about life. And electronics are not warm. They're not warm. They're kind of distant. I can't describe it. They're not, are they? I
agree with you, and I mean, they can. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut across you there.
No, it's fine.
With this AI, it can go two ways, and I believe we could be living the life of Riley with AI being our slaves. So it'd bring the price of everything down, where you could have something like a replica of a 1948 Jag, which should be electric. Made by AI, and people could then pursue the hobbies and the things they want to do, and we could have beautiful architecture, because that's what people would be employed with. So AI robots would make the structure and all the boring stuff, and us humans would come along and do all the beautiful, Art Nouveau and things like that on the side. Just think what the world could become and how inventive it could become and creative. People doing work what they want to do, not what they're forced to do. And that's what I think we need to go back to. Because years ago, when you look at these beautiful cathedrals, you can't tell me people were press ganged into working on them. No, they loved it. So that's my view. And and learn how to carve and all these different things. I think it'd be marvellous.
Oh, I was watching something the other day about York Minster. You know, York Minster is a pretty impressive cathedral, right? Yes. I used to go up there when I was a kid. It's only 20 miles from where I grew up, so we were up at York a lot. And York's a very, very old place, Jorvik. And it was just a little clip of some Americans going around looking at the Roman walls still there and everything. And, we kind of take it for granted. I did, because I was just going up there to drink beer at the time and stuff and things like that. But the guide that was explaining some of the gargoyles and things that are on there said that at the peak they had 2,200 stonemasons working on it.
Beautiful. Why not?
2,200 stonemasons. I don't know if there's that many left in England at the moment. I mean, I don't know. There probably is, I guess. But it's impressive work. And, of course, it was built over a long period of time. I don't know how long, probably in excess of 100 years. I mean, it's sort of like, well, we've got time. Let's just get on with it. Let's build something magnificent. It's the fact that you're doing that, and it lays down a big chapter in your story as a people. I mean, we're not the only people to do this, but it's all across Europe. You find these things. And they're wonderful, and they send out this kind of energy wave of encouragement about life, don't they? Whereas when you look at buildings that are going, they're discouraging. They are demoralizing the modern buildings. They're saying we're poor. We can only put up a box. We haven't even got the inventiveness to put up a beautiful box. It's got to be just a box. All of these things, all of it. This is what happens when you get commies infesting your sort of cultural nervous system. They're just, they're a menace. Everything starts to go into this spiral.
We need to look at the life and things in a different way. And we've got to look in a way to make people happy. And you can make people happy by them doing, providing they don't harm anybody else, what they want to do and what they're skilled at. And I think we've all got individual talents and individual skills that need to be brought out. But they're not. They're being stifled with this idea of a job, turning burgers over or whatever it is. Well, I believe if a person's turning burgers, they should do it because they want to do it. It's because they've always aspired to it. And they'll probably do a bloody marvellous job of it. Mm-hmm. But we're not all the same. And this is what gets me. Just think, we could have thatched cottages. We could be we could beautify the whole of Great Britain if we use AI correctly. I really do believe that. Everybody could have a chauffeur, an AI chauffeur. And you just say, okay, Jeeves, take me to such and such a place. You get in a lovely car. And we could all be living like millionaires. All of us. There'd be no, Think about it.
I think we're barely scratching the surface of what we could do. Do you think? I was thinking this. The people still talking about railways, but in a smaller version. The guys that build model railways, or of them.
Right? Oh yes,
and you have model railway clubs, and it always seemed a bit nerdy to me. I mean, I loved it when I was 8. We used to go along when I was a little kid, and I wanted a big train set. That's all. I don't know what it is about kids and trains, but it's just one of those things. But maybe the appeal of it is that they can build the world that they actually really want to live in. I know it's in miniature, but it's in the world of the imagination, that kind of thing, and they sort of recreate. And I think I'm sort of prone to that in terms of the things that I want to talk about. And much of it, of course, is a longing for a world that I wasn't really fully part of. I accept all that, but I like the story of it as I sort of feel it or interpret it. We were talking the other day about like trains having compartments. All of the sort of older things just come out of people making a comfortable space in which you could always envisage yourself having quality conversations, and that life is quick but not excessively frenetically speedy for no damn good reason whatsoever. Of course, the underlying thing is we've got to be more efficient because the economy, we've got to get costs. Everything's got to be simplified and more brutally miserable, and you've got to move quicker and quicker. You need to work harder and harder, and you've both got to work, and you haven't got time to raise children. It's all so expensive, and it's just all of these things. They're all part of one story, which is sort of an intentional mismanagement of what we want to build. I mean, I don't think it's really a new problem, Eric. It's probably thousands, who gets to be in charge and on what basis. But it's particularly alarming, I suppose, the speed with which everything's getting buggered about. Here we are, 2025, and it's almost as if the world before COVID, which is 5-6 years ago, was a very, very different world. In just 5 years. Very different. We're only talking 5 years ago. It's not long, is it? It doesn't seem long to me.
No.
Although
when the outbreak of that COVID does seem a long time ago, it seems like a different world, because I remember hearing on the... because I don't listen to the radio or have a television. I just remember seeing it on the internet. No, tell a lie, I was in my car, put the radio on, because I often put the radio on in my car. That's about the only time I listen to radio. And this woman saying, it's just like a flu virus, there's nothing to worry about. The next thing, they had lockdown, and I went down to the local town, and it was like a scene from a science fiction film. Mm-hmm. I just could not believe what I was seeing. People queuing outside the bank, everywhere closed, like a Sunday afternoon. And I thought, what is this? And it was a really smoggy, horrible day.
Mm-hmm.
And it really affected me. I thought there's something weird. And I remember when we had a nice day, and I was cycling along the road, and there was some shops, and there was a butcher shop, nobody around, and this bloke, the owner of this butcher, came out, and he waved, "Hello, sir, hello," and I waved back. He was so delighted to see human life around.
Yeah.
And I was the only person I'd probably seen for ages, because no cars on the road. And it was just like Amiga Man. You remember the film Amiga Man?
I think I do. Yeah. Sounds like an Avengers set where there was only, Steed and Emma Peel in the middle of some big industrial, and there's only two other people there. They're always kind of bleak and lonely, very sort of surreal in a way, but I know what you mean.
That's right. Yeah. But with Amiga Man, Charlton Heston there is driving down the road, and he believes he's the only person left in the world, but he isn't. And there's other people left as well. Very interesting film. The original one from 1970s. The remake was crap, but the original one's pretty good.
I think I've seen that once a long time ago. Yeah, I think I've seen that one a long time ago.
Because as I say, he thinks he's the only one, but he isn't. And there's some mutant people wandering around that are after him. And Vincent Price was the first one to do the film. That was in 1964. Then they made the rebate break with Charlton Heston, I think, in the early 70s. And then they've done other ones since then. But the one in the 70s with Charlton Heston, that's a good one. So there we go. Bit of a plug there.
Guys.
Charlton Heston. Yeah, Paul.
I have located the $5,000 Africa car. The $5,000 EV is the Itaoa, Itaoua, and the make of the car is called the Native, or the model of the car is the Native, and it outrun Teslas in range with batteries that are 90% cheaper.
Wow.
So
is there a website for it? Is there a how do you spell that again? Itaoua.
Itaoua. And I just dropped a link to a YouTube video in the studio chat.
Thank you.
So you can check that out.
Okay, cool.
So it's the Itaoa.
Yeah, it's $5,000.
OUA. What was it called again? The name of the car? It's
called the Native, and it's actually a pretty little car. I mean, there's a Chinese one that looks like a Sucrets box with wheels on it, and it's $5,000 too. But the African model is like leaps and bounds prettier and bigger and more useful than the Chinese version. Sorry, China, screwed up. Go back to the drawing board.
Can you change the batteries easy if they go up the spout? Are they cheap? Can you sort of whip about in an afternoon or in about an half hour or something?
I believe you can. I don't see why not. I mean,
wow.
Why would they say the batteries are 90% cheaper if you couldn't replace them? That's the beauty part.
That's interesting.
So, and it's not that they're lacking in power because they outranged a Tesla. They beat Tesla.
And I can guarantee you will not be able to buy one in the United States or Europe.
Absolutely not.
They'll ban
you'll
it.
have to.
Yes.
You'll have to travel to Europe or travel to Africa, buy one, take delivery, drive it around for a couple of weeks, and then drag it back home as a used car.
The Iron Air battery that goes well.
Well, it says here on the YouTube video, which has not been viewed by enough people, only 4,000. This $5,000 EV from Africa is a global shockwave. Well, they're always using words like that, but it does look fun. Some points. It says the Iron Air battery that costs 90% less than a Tesla battery. The EV uses just 370 parts versus Tesla's 10,000. There's a biggie.
Yes.
It charges on a standard outlet in 4 hours. Microfactory revolutions scaling faster than any automaker. I want one. I'd buy one of those. I'd probably get one of those. $5,000.
That was the beauty part of it. What they did was they set up micro factories to repair or to build the cars, so they can upscale delivery as quickly as they need to. As demand increases, all they do is, instead of spending millions of dollars and 6 months to a year to build a factory, they can spend a couple of $100,000 and have a factory up in 6 weeks and be building cars. They've done everything on a compartmentalized scale, and it's brilliant. Brilliant.
Yep, looks
I'd
cool.
love one. I really would like one. And it does look nice, doesn't it? It doesn't look unpleasant.
Well,
nice
there we
design.
go, Eric. Can't we get the Fockham Hall Minister of Transport to set up an import-export company and we get those in? We better sort it out. Of course, they probably will slap a bit of a tariff on it, I would imagine. But, I mean, if they were really serious about having city vehicles that don't emit anything, $5,000, that's what, £4,000?
Yeah. Bloody hell, I'd have one of them. Absolutely marvellous.
I'd have two. I'd have one for the weekend.
Yeah.
In different colours. No, it's grand.
Yeah.
One for each week.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it. I really do like that one. It's a nice car.
It's a sweet-looking little car. I definitely think Tesla's worried. And I'll bet you, Musk is working to pull every single string he can administratively to keep those damn cars out of the United States.
It's ironic, isn't it, that it's from Kenya, which is not a million miles from where he apparently hails from in Africa. So why doesn't he go there and just work with them? Because banks, you see, always banks. We can't have out. Don't you think this illustrates that point we're making earlier, that people have got solutions, but they can't be implemented because of banks? In simple terms,
that's right.
That's really all it's about. Oh no, you can't. That is going to affect the market share of our other client. So what? Free enterprise, tough. What do you want to sit around making cars for? We don't want to do that. We want to actually live a happy life with our families. You know, let's reduce all the effort to make cars. Let's get one, tool around in it. Who cares? It's just a weird game that's evolved in the West. It's very weird. It's sick.
Actually, manipulating a market and limiting people's ability to access new technology should be considered a crime against humanity, because
I agree.
It absolutely flies in the face of a technological advancement and the betterment of society and the human race as a whole. So if they are forcing people to use an antiquated electrical power grid, so they have this electric bill every month instead of having their own energy device either on their block or in their driveway, for God's sake. If they are stopping people from accessing new technology just because they want to profit from the old stuff that incidentally destroys the planet, hello. China's got, 6,000 coal-fired power plants? But I cannot walk out of a grocery store with my groceries in a plastic T-shirt-style disposable shopping bag just to save the damn planet?
Well, you are a troublemaker, Paul. I think, it might be.
I absolutely am. And I buy those damn things at Amazon 2,000 at a crack, and I use them with impunity and let any one of them try and tell me I can't.
I mean, not to rain on this car's parade. However, there's a comment here which will not surprise you. So the company's called Mobius Motors, and this is a comment from 4 months ago, and it says this. I can't check this, so this requires AI fact verification, which of course is highly trustworthy, but nevertheless, it says this. Mobius Motors went into liquidation and was purchased by Middle East financial firm. Well, I never. There is a massive overcapacity in auto manufacturing, especially with BYD, I think that's a Chinese firm, dumping highly subsidized autos throughout the world. Probably. So, if that is true, if a Middle East financial firm bought it up, this would be at the behest of a competitive automaker getting them to buy it up and putting them out of business.
It absolutely would.
And
that goes right back to what I was saying. They're limiting options because the ones that are already in the place are more profitable, and they are the ones that make the profit.
Well, this is not dissimilar to the practices that were first started, Paul, in your country back in the late 1800s, when the banks couldn't lend money to anybody because everybody already had loads of money. Businesses were making so much money they didn't need to borrow money off a bank. The middleman, this bank thing, is absolutely the scourge of the earth, and it has been ever since it got going in Babylon 2,500 years ago, whenever it kicked off. And it's exactly the same. They'll put competitors out of business because they'll say, hey, we're a big company and we owe you $5.5 billion, and if you allow them to exist, we can't pay you back. And they go, oh, yeah. So they'll nobble it, and they'll use industrial espionage and anything they can to do that, because they're all going to lose their job at the bank. It's just deranged. No wonder we can't actually get on and do anything with this kind of stuff. It's why being a neo-Luddite is the way to go, don't you think? We need a worldwide movement of neo-Luddites. If you don't know who Luddites are, it's named after a guy called Ned Ludd. You know that song I played a few weeks ago from The Divine Comedy? Well, it mentions Ned Ludd in the lyrics because they had exactly the same issue, different form, but the same challenge. All these sort of automated looms and shuttles and everything that came in, which were brilliant for reducing the cost of clothes, unfortunately were kicking people out of work. And it was a much more sensitive issue back then because they didn't have credit cards. There was no loans from the bank for a working family. You just starved to death. So it was a bit more serious, a bit more intense, and that's why they started smashing up weaving factories and things like this, because they'd had enough. I mean, what are people supposed to do? It's because we're not included in the bounty, you see. The bounty is grabbed by a small group and they go, we'll have all the profits and you can do all the work. And this mentality, unfortunately, still exists. I mean, I think that goes some way to explaining why Conservative MPs, as Liz Truss was talking about, support all this migration stuff, because they're making loads of money. I mean, what they're going to spend it on, I don't know. There won't be anything left being made that you want to buy. Well, what's the point of having it? More crap glass and steel houses. On a slightly related but parallel line of thinking with regards to economic structures and things like that, there's a website called opencapital.net. It might be hyphenated. It might be open-capital.net. And it's put together by a guy I know personally. He put it together many, many years ago, a guy called Chris Cook, who used to work for the DTI. And I haven't spoken to him in quite a few years, but he's a very bright lad. It's written in a kind of government ease, so bear that in mind. But there is an idea that he ran past me in 2004, which I've never had the time to really pick up, and also just other things were more interesting. But it does hold an awful lot of, it's very interesting because it's got legal force behind it. So I've mentioned this a little bit before. There used to be just limited companies over here up until about 1998 or something. So if you want to form a corporation, a thing that has a life outside of the individuals and can be taxed and all that, you form a limited company. That's the usual, and people are still forming these things. But there was a massive accountancy firm called Arthur Anderson's, which has subsequently gone bust and broke, probably bought up by one of the other big ones. And they had an issue because they had major partners who did not want to be exposed to liability. So they were running a scheme out in Jersey, which is a tax haven. Lots of companies are actually formed over in Jersey by the same sorts of people that want to avoid participating in the cost but want to take all the profits. And it was proving to be quite a problem because it was working very well and it was going to deny the government tax revenue. Now, from an honest side, that's wrong. When you've got normal peasants paying tax, it's wrong that multinationals should not pay it. Okay? I mean, I don't believe in tax anyway in the way it's structured, but that's a secondary thought. Anyway, they couldn't really deal with it. So that they went to Andy and said, we don't like you doing this. He said, well, we don't care, really. Well, we want to sort of do a deal. So they came up with this structure called a limited liability partnership. And what it does is it basically indemnifies each of the partners for the amount of money that they've got in the partnership. They can't be sort of smashed to bits, because traditional partnerships, you could go all over the shop with it. Everybody was liable for everything. They had unlimited liability, and this was worrying for them, understandably so, I guess. Anyway, Chris had been giving this some thought, and you'll find a document on the property section on that site, opencapital.net. and it's to do with housing. And I think this is really cool. I'm going to try and explain it as best I can in simple terms. If you're a young person in England and Scotland, Wales, in these islands at the moment, you want to buy a house, you've got all on to be able to do it. First of all, the price of them is through the roof, which is ludicrous. They've been inflating the prices of houses for donkey's years to boast of the money supply, blah, 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 blah. And it's very, very difficult. And, of course, the cost of the housing is also suppressing birth rates because people have got enough on just paying the mortgage, let alone raising a child and stuff. All of these things are by design, of course. What you can do with a limited liability partnership is you can form a property partnership in a way where a person can start to own a house without getting a mortgage. Have I mentioned this before, Eric? I don't know if I've run this past you before. Have I ever mentioned this before? Silence. Oh, can you hear me, Eric? You okay?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah. Sorry, yeah. I was
you
just.
are.
Yes, I'm still.
Did you nod off?
It's okay.
Would I do such a thing? No, live on air. No, I'd never nod off.
It's all right.
But,
It's fine. Well, let me get to the meat of it. So I'll try and do an example. Which is the easiest way to understand it. So it's a way that people can get a foot on the property ownership ladder without a mortgage. Therefore, expect hostile manoeuvres later on down the line, as and when something like this grows. What you do is you have two types of partner in the partnership. Everybody has to become a partner, i.e. you supply your name and your credentials, okay?
Yes.
And you have an investor partner, the people that put up the money to buy the property. There can be tons of these partners, right? So an investor pool, known as the investor partner section. And you have the occupiers, the people that are going to live in the property. Let's suppose it's £100,000. Can you buy a house in England for £100,000 these days? Yeah, I suppose you can somewhere. Let's suppose it is. Just keep the math simple,
yes.
Right?
In
so
the
it's
Orkneys, probably.
It's £100,000. And normally you're going to have to go off and prove everything, and then you get a mortgage. And if you get a mortgage, you pay it back over 25 years, and you're going to pay somewhere between 250 and 300,000 back on that house. Yippee! Right. From money that the bank didn't have, that they lent you, and then they sell the debt onto another company anyway, and it's all blah, 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 blah. So what happens is this. If you say that the rentable value of that house... Actually, let me give you a better example round here, because I went past a house for £500,000 will go, current rental round here is about £2,200 a month. Let's call it £2,000, right? It's £2,000 a month to rent a house valued at about £500,000 round in parts of here. They're not all expensive. And you want to live in that house. Well, with the partnership you can. So the partnership buys the house and owns 100% of it. And you, as the occupier partner, have to pay the £2,000 a month rent, okay? But you can overpay. You might even be stipulated to put a small deposit down to allow you into the scheme. Let's call it that. It's a partnership scheme.
Yes.
So they might say to you, look, we need to know that you're a serious partner, so you've got to put up at least 2%. That's 10 grand. You've got to find 10 grand in savings, and then you can come in as the renter. And away you go. Now, what happens is the 10 grand that you put into the house at this starting point means that you own 2% of it. That's how it's like a sliding scale. So you're actually only going to you're going to pay rent on the 98% that you don't own. So whatever 98% is of £2,000, which is less than £2,000, what is that? Whatever it is it 40 quid off? Something like that, right? What's 1% of 2,000? 20 quid. So it's 40. You pay 1,960. You don't pay 2,000 because you're not going to rent stuff that you already own. If you overpay, which you can and are encouraged to do, you own more of the percent of the house. The faster you overpay,
logical.
It's like a sliding scale, between the bit that's got to be rented because you don't own it, and the little bit in the early days that you do own. But you are given permission.
Yes.
Yeah, you're given permission to just basically over-purchase, and you can keep doing that all the time. And of course, the more of it that you... Yeah, so when you've put in, say, 250 grand, you're now only paying £1,000 a month rent because it's only half the house that you don't own, in simple terms, right? And it means loads and loads of people could get on the property ladder without a mortgage. And then
They did it in the that's right. They did it in the 1930s. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk across you then, but my father used to talk about this. Rent to buy, it was called.
Right. Well, I mean, it's cool. Whatever the structure was back then, this is just done under a partnership arrangement. So you've always got a stake in it. If, for example, 1 month you can't pay the rent, let's suppose you now own 40 grand of this £500,000 house, you can't pay the rent. All that happens is your ownership goes down by the value of 1,960 quid or whatever the rent would have been that month, because you'll pay it. So you're having to rent the bit that you don't own, because there's a capital investment that goes into the scheme as a whole, which is being used to buy more properties, to bring more people to come in to get their foot on the property ladder. Makes sense, doesn't it? That wasn't too complicated.
It does make sense.
Yeah.
Or for years, you see, when I started off in the industry, they said that, I'll never forget the lecturer saying, I think the building industry, the second largest employer in the country. I can't remember. I think the first is the health service. And he said, you'll always find a bigwig in standing in the wings that you don't quite see of every political party. And he said, there are two types of political parties in this country. And this was in the 70s, he said this. The road builders and the house builders. And if you're into house building, you vote for the house builders. And if you're into road building, you vote for the road builders. He said, because you'll find that people like McAlpine and that always near the top and pulling strings in government. Now, for years, what the building industry has done is they've prevented mass-produced houses, because every house is primitive. It's a one-off, because look at these horrible stuck-up block estates. They're really, really dreadful. But in the 60s, they did try an experiment, but again, the building industry clamped down on it, where they did what they do in Greece, and that is you buy the land, and then you build a house on it. And they do this in Germany, where you can order a house, you get the foundation laid down, and then they will come and build that house in about 2 days, just straight up. And it's like a timber frame property, straight up it goes.
Sears did that. Sears Roebuck did that. You could buy a piece of land and then buy a kit house. It was delivered. All the pieces that you would need to assemble it yourself were delivered to your property.
Yeah. And it would take something like a day and a half or 2 days, and that would you'd go up like a rocket. And there was a company that did it, and they do this in Germany today.
Well, I mean, the example I gave is probably the most expensive way of doing it, buying an existing property that's on the market, right? But what you're talking about, and I think in that paper it covers that, you buy the land and you have a developer build it, and therefore the house that would be valued at 500 that's not the sales price, because it's part of, in other words, you have a developer partner that builds these things. They make their modest operating profit without it going to market, where it's beefed up by the middleman, which is what happens all the bloody time, right?
As I've said, sorry, again, I didn't mean to chime in. I've said many times is I'm very, I believe that the building regulations should be strict, because building regulations are for our health and safety. So yes, let's make sure that and nowadays they've privatised building inspectors, so houses are not being inspected like they used to.
Yeah,
and I think we're going to have a disaster soon. I hope I'm totally wrong, but I think we are, because it's all for profit, and they have university students coming round who are just clean out of university that know sod all what they're looking at. Whereas once upon a time, you'd have an ex-builder who would become the building inspector. He knew his stuff, and he knew all the tricks of the trade. So he knew if someone's trying to pull the wool over his eyes. And what a good building inspector did was show you a cheap way of doing it, or a better way of doing whatever it is you're doing. They were there to help. Now they're not. They're there to make a profit. But I believe, yes, in not privatising the building inspectors, but burning and having a huge bonfire of planning regulations, because it's a law unto its own, and it should be simplified, and buildings should be what the local community and the local people want, not what they don't want, what we've got at the moment. Because huge property developers have taken it over, and this is what I'm against, the property developers, because I think you should be able to, say, buy a plot of land, and it's so complex, the building the planning regs, it's ridiculous. And then have like you go along to IKEA, and you get like a book, and you open it up and you say, oh yes, I'd like that there, and I'd like that coloured roof, and I'd like this and that. And they've got a law in Australia, in one of the states, where two houses next to each other must not look the same. They've got to be different. Every house has got to be different to make it, and they've got to be a certain distance away from the road.
Right.
And this is all part of their and that simplify the regulations all the way through. The other thing they do is have a tunnel along the side of the road that all the services go down. So they very rarely dig up a road if anything goes wrong, like water or electricity, because it all goes down a service channel, and it just needs some bozo to just go down the tunnel and fix the problem. And this is why you don't get road ups and things like that. The idea of burying water and electricity is ridiculous. It's bonkers. Why can't it go down a service tunnel?
Well, I know a little group round here that are looking to buy some land to do a kind of community development. I don't like the word community, but we all know what we mean. I don't know. It just makes me feel funny. It always makes me think of sort of dead councillors and things like this. Yeah. And all that. You know what I mean? There's something immediately sort of not romantically fun about it. It's immediately sort of procedural and administrative and tedious. I immediately like, ugh. Yes. We find some different words. But getting together like in a housing club is much more interesting. I prefer the word club. So if you get together in one of these sort of housing club partnership things, that would be the way to go. I just think it would. And there's, although many people are brassic lint and we're told the economy is suffering, and it is, there are still people sitting on considerable sums of dead capital, in the sense that it's not really earning very much, and they would like to do something with it. And I think another thing is that when people get wealthy towards the tail end of their life, this is another way in which it could be organised. I mean, there's so many people that pass away without a will, and the government absorbs all this stuff through inheritance tax and all these other things, that we're not funding ourselves properly, and we are also faced with people that are coming here that do organise themselves economically. If you go to opencapital.net, you'll find a paper on Islamic banking. And I've mentioned it here before. In principle, it's way sounder than what we are allowed to have. It's just hideous. Yes. It's just insult to bloody injury. It's absolutely the case. And they structure loans in a different way, or at least they say they do. They've got the same disease now going on. They just can't make enough money. And it's this compulsion, this love of making money that's producing a lack of real wealth in the world. It is like a drug addiction. It's like keeping score. I've got all this in the bank. Well, it's no bloody use there to you, mate. I mean, why do you need it all? What's that old thing? Money piled up in one place smells like shit, spread around, everything grows. And mechanisms like this are needed. So I've been talking to my sons about it, because one of my sons is kind of well up on property and stuff like this and doing things with it. And I said, we really need to get something going with this. I mean, I'm not really an administrative bod. I sort of start getting sheets of paper and I go, bloody hell, I've got to plough through this crap. I hate it, right? But I know people that are good with that and sort of thrive on it, and you need to have some of those people in there. And I think if it was made plain and simple, here's the avenue for our people to get on the housing ladder so they can start to have families. I know it's a small little thing that we're just talking about here, but it's simply a matter of actions. If there is land available to buy, and you can get a clutch of developer partners, builders and the like, and architects that can design the houses to your wishes, you should be able to get built a lot less expensively than buying an existing one, and build good quality housing as you see fit, as long as all the numbers are known beforehand. I love the idea of... you mentioned rent to buy, and somebody else, I think Alvin Kurt, somebody else mentioned rent to buy in the chat. That's basically it. That you rent the house that you don't own, the part of the house that you don't own, which in the early stage will be the bulk of it, but you always have the option to overpay. And so you're encouraged to do that, and everybody's happy about that because you're reducing the rental part down and you're providing more money back into the partnership so they can build another house for the next guy to come along and set up alongside you. I know it's
but not only that,
Yep.
but the houses, it should, I mean, I'm very much into feng shui. A house should blend with the countryside and the hillside. You look at an old country village where you've got the church steeple and things like that. The houses blended in. So I strongly believe that local materials should be used. Like, for example, once upon a time, you took a picture of anywhere in the country, you'd say, oh, yes, I know where that house is. It's the Cotswolds because they're using Cotswold stone. Or that's in Devon because they've got beautiful, well, it's actually mud, actually. But, you know, they've got these beautiful old cottages.
Yep.
Now, you could take a picture anywhere and the houses are bland and the same. You go to a shopping centre. You could be anywhere in this country, go anywhere in Europe for that matter, and the shopping centres are exactly the same wherever you go. I want to start something against bland architecture. To me, it should beautify and enhance the land. That's what buildings should do. You look along and amongst the trees and the flowers, and where you've got woods and trees and things like that, this is what we need. We're humans, and we need to look out on a wooded area or countryside. Towns actually, I think they're like prisons, and this is where you got communism come from. I think town is people that don't like beauty and don't like countryside.
Yeah,
that makes people mentally ill. I really do. I mean, I'm not. There's lots of friends of mine that live in towns, yes, but I really do believe that cities make people mentally sick. I really do.
They absolutely do. We've not been living in them really that long. I mean, there's always been a part of the population that did, going all the way back to Rome, right? But the vast majority of people did not to the degree that they do now, and the urban landscape and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't help the whole. They're always saying, well, there's a housing crisis shortage. No, there isn't. There's a common sense shortage.
You're right.
Everybody, they even describe problems. The way that they describe the problem is a problem in itself because it's intentionally misleading. And what you're talking about, all this blandness, it's about the centralisation of control, which is the centralisation of capital, which is the easiest way for them to hive it off. That's, why do you want...
I'll have a look.
When you have counties... Right. I mean, I would, if you're going to have building regulations, have them on a county basis. You go, we live here in Devon, we've got this type of stone or whatever it is that's readily available. We insist that you use it. Why? Because it's actually great. It'll keep the houses down. We can house our people, the Devonians or whatever you call, more easily. And same in Yorkshire and Worcestershire and wherever it is. It'd be much, and then we'd go around England like it used to be, like you were saying, with all these different types of quirky architecture, which is why people got the bloody Cotswolds now. They're just drawn into it.
I'll tell you something else. Mm-hmm. Well, that's all right. Well, we're coming to the end of the show now. What I was going to say, look at Letchworth Garden City if you want to see architecture. Done in the Edwardian times, 1907. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Eric and Paul, for being with us on the show this evening. Apologies for our little technical trouser moments this evening. It's been quite... bit of a boisterous pub tonight. People coming in and out and going and not rocking up and all this sorts of stuff. But never mind, it's been fun. Thank you very much for being with us for the last 3 hours. We will, of course, be back here again same time next week. Have a cracking week, and we'll have some more interesting things to talk about next week as things develop, I think. So that's going to be something to look forward to. Go safe, be good, and stay happy. Because why not? It's best sort of policy, I think, right now. Thanks everybody in chat, Rumble and YouTube. We'll see you all again next week. Bye for now, everyone. Bye-bye.